Hey,
Oh,
everybody!
holy
What's going
shit!
on? Look at that.
Welcome back.
Noah's doing the drinking game. We're not even having our drinking game go today.
I know.
I think that's
I mean,
alcoholism.
Shoot, I'm frozen.
Yep. Yep. Marcus is slowly coming back from the dead there as he's unfreezing. But last week we were gonna take a Sunday off after WrestleMania just because I was running a little tired from things, and it wasn't really a Sunday off because we had somebody on our podcast that had to go to the ER, so it was a long night anyway. Yeah. So how's
Hope
everybody
you
doing
feeling
this week?
better, nephew.
yeah.
Come on,
Well,
Leia.
not that
You in the way.
Oh, I hope
All
he's
right.
feeling worse. I hope he's feeling worse.
well, it sucks for you. I'm feeling ultra better. So let it
Mhm.
I'll tell you this: my chin feels a little cold. I haven't seen my
Oh,
face
yeah.
in about 10 years, so.
Dude, when I saw
Yeah,
when I
and
saw
suck
that
with the
fucking
medical
pop up
station
on
there, I
my Facebook feed, I got jump scared for a second. I was like, ah! Oh,
Man, when he showed me the picture of him clean shaven, I was like, dude, I don't think I've ever seen you with no facial hair, bro. Like it was just
That's a new buckaroo there.
I was like, I didn't even recognize him. I was like, what the
Yep. So let's say hello to some of the people we got with us. So we got Nerdy Girl with us. Hey, thanks for joining us.
hell?
hello.
CG.
We have CG popping in because he's out celebrating
boy.
Mother's Day, but he is dropping some comments here. We are going to talk about Scream 8, CG. We got King Matthew with us.
King Matthew, hope you recovering, dude. Hope you
Yep.
recovering well from your procedure and everything, man.
What are you got? Let's see. What's
Oh,
up,
yeah.
guys? How are you doing tonight? I currently just started the I Know What You Did Last Summer series for the first time ever since I finished a.
Stay away from the third one. Stay away from the third one. It's not even worth it, dude. Don't even watch the third one that went straight to DVD. Just watch the first two.
Yep. We got Scott Walker with us. Hey
Yo.
guys, how you doing this week?
Scott.
I got interesting news for the Scream 7. There's been rumors going around at Doomy is alive. He might be in the weird. I can see that.
Just give him
I don't know how with his guts spilling all over the place, but okay.
You know, it's this is giving me flashbacks. This is giving me flashbacks. Like
Well,
now it's becoming a thing where it's like even now the more I hear about this movie, I just like
I'm going to quickly type that in there because I am curious. Can someone, man, like if somebody ever, like if the FBI ever looked at my search history for some of the videos I do for the channel, I'd be in trouble. So
yeah, we got to keep an eye on this one.
Yep. Can someone survive a gutting? Let's see what the facts are about that.
Let's find out on Nerdbox Factor Cam.
1,000 Ways to Die 2.0.
we got a little. We got to make a little graphic for that.
So here it is. While survival from severe gutting, penetrating abdominal trauma is possible with immediate medical intervention, it's highly unlikely without it. The dude was in a hospital.
But
Just
nobody
saying.
was in the hospital on that floor.
On that floor. Yeah.
I've never been to a hospital that had empty floors. I'm just saying, it's kind
I've
of crazy.
never been to a hospital that's had empty floors. Never.
Yeah.
Like even the
Like, the Ghostface have to have
hospitals,
mocker money, right? Like they're paying off the people in the hospitals. Like just go.
Yeah,
Just go.
be like, go take a lunch break. Yeah, go home.
Yep. But it does say disembowelment where the intestines are completely removed is invariably fatal due to blood loss and shock. So
We're also forgetting. We're also like not keeping in mind that he got gutted in both, like in the front and the back. Like I don't know what you would call from the back, but like he's gone. Like this, like unless they made him to a cyborg, like he's done.
Now we talked about this a little bit. I think a couple weeks ago, where it's like if he's coming back, which it was supposed to be secret, and somebody leaked it out, even though the reports like early on was that Courtney Cox was pulling to get him back into the franchise. Yeah, I was leaning towards him being a Randy video, but I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'll put it out to all you guys. We'll start with you, Marcus. Would you rather him have made a video where it's to like Gail or Sidney, or would you rather see him back since he's coming back? So it's inevitable, right? So your options, the video. All right.
Yeah, video. Because I mean, like, dude, when he survived multiple stabbings, almost being blown up, Geo beating the brakes off of him in 4. You know what I mean? Like, dude's been through hell. So just let him rest. I think it would be awesome to have like a tribute video, like confessing how much he loved her and everything, because he never got a chance to really like express that in Scream 5. And then like a, something for Sidney, like, hey, this is what I've researched over this time period, stuff like that. Blah blah.
I would
yeah, don't
much prefer that. Yeah. I would so much prefer just like a goodbye video or something. Oh my god.
I might
cry.
You. Yep. So you're going for a goodbye video as well. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see him having a point in the story anymore. I guess.
Yeah.
And it's not that like I don't see that like his character could have more stories. It's just I don't see them needing to make more stories with his character. It's about it.
Yeah.
Now King Matthew brought up a good point. Like if it was a dream or nightmare sequence with Gail, cool. But as far as the plot, like his importance to the story, just do a goodbye video. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be that. Could be that. No, what about you?
I would say, the goodbye video. But I feel like if they're doing a goodbye video, they're gonna like, oh, well, here's like this little bit of evidence that we didn't previously have, and it's like, why didn't he share that previously? So I'm hoping like if it is just a goodbye video, it's just like a sentimental goodbye video. Or they could just not put him in it. But
yeah,
they had the opportunity in 5, and then they
Yeah, you know what? What if it's maybe we start Scream 7 after Scream 5, and it's the funeral, and then we have a time jump. That could work. That would work. I think.
But I mean, like, what? Like, how would he factor into that though? That's the question. Like,
it could be a tribute video that they're showing at the funeral.
Okay, so you're going with the video too. Okay.
Wait, Angel.
So we're gonna go. So so if 6 happens after 5, Dewey dies in 5. So they would have waited until after 6.
Well, now you got to remember. So Sidney's not in 6, so we could have it where we're seeing
parallel story. Okay. I can see that. Yeah.
Well, then, I mean, they'll still have to mention the events of 6 because of the fact that Chad and Mindy are in it. You know what I mean? So they'll have to like tie 6 into it somehow. With them surviving.
We're gonna find out what happens to Sam and Tara.
Yeah, Tara. Yeah.
It makes sense. It does make sense now. If we're really starting to think about it, right? That could be how you have the 2 of them in it too. They're just in it for a funeral scene. Yeah.
Be so wrong it hurts. And it's actually just like T800 Dewey just coming from like out of the closet or something. Right.
Or he had him and Tatum had a secret sibling, like he was a long lost twin or something.
All right. I gotta ask Scott where he is getting his leaked news from, because this could be interesting. So Jamie Kennedy is returning to do Randy for Scream 7. I think they're going to do the same thing like they did for Scream 3 with the video. I just hope he reveals that Stu is alive in the video.
I know I watch his podcast, and I remember months ago he hinted, like if he got the phone call that he would do something like that, if it made sense. Like it was another video or something like that his sister found, or Chad and Mindy found, or something like that. But he wouldn't just return just to be returning. You know what I mean? He was like, nah, it has to be something that like helps the new group to survive or whatever.
Yeah, it would be weird to like that he's the only actor or that wasn't announced in the cast, and David Arquette was supposed to be a secret, and somehow this is the big secret that we're all getting, is that Randy's coming back. It's like,
well, Emma Roberts hasn't been announced yet. There's just there's patterns to her.
Speculation. Yeah.
Yeah, there's patterns to her social media, right? Like that's always a big giveaway for everybody. Like with sports or with movies, like, hey, why is this person all of a sudden following this movie theater or this movie studio? So like that's always the dead giveaway, right? Because
Is
there's
Hayden
always
coming back?
I
Has she
didn't see
confirmed or no?
I haven't seen
Because
anything.
I haven't seen any news with her
Mm-mm.
returning Kirby.
I haven't seen
Yeah.
anything about that. Before we
Because
get
then
over,
I'd be like, that'd be stupid. Like, why wouldn't they bring Kirby back? Like, yeah.
yeah, we're gonna talk about
This
Scream
movie's
8
making
news.
a lot of good choices so far.
Yeah, right. We're going to talk a lot about Scream 8 news a little bit later today on the podcast. We have some other stuff to jump into. Before that, I'm just taking a look here and seeing what Scream 7 comments we have, or let's see. Yeah, so Scott, we're going to talk about this one a little bit later. Matthew Lillard is interested in doing Scream 8. Scream 7 is going to be left on a cliffhanger and install Survive 7. Yep. All right, so we'll talk about that later. That's what I'm thinking too. Scott, on the funeral, just say they have Dewey's funeral in Scream 7. Sidney and Gail at the funeral. Is Sidney looks to have left and sees a warranty figure next to the tree. She recognized it. Okay. Yeah. I like that. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Oh, okay.
All right. All right. There was a Santa Claus comment here. I want to go and find that. We got a lot of comments coming in.
Santa.
Yep.
Yeah, he
So there's been a lot of talk. Yep. The remake, like birthday original, where parents protested out. Yeah. You know what? This is the kid from Halloween Ends. I'm actually looking forward to him rebounding in this film.
I hope so, man. Because like, I don't blame him for Halloween Ends. I blame Blumhouse, David McBride, Jason Blum. You know, he had potential because I told you a buddy of mine pitched the Blumhouse trilogy where it could have worked had they done it the way he did it, and he pretty much kept everything, but he just rearranged it to make it a better, complete story. And this is somebody who actually worked on Halloween stuff in the past. Like he wrote some of the comic books, he did some of the documentaries and stuff like that. So this is somebody who's credible. And the way he pitched it and the way he rearranged the three films, I was like, this is what they should have done. Where Corey was brought in during Halloween Kills and everything, where it set it up for him taking over the mask. And, you know, yeah, but the way they did it, man, I was like, you know.
Yep.
Whatever.
Now, Scott's question is, does it get the same treatment that the original did with the parents protesting outside the movie theater?
Nah, I doubt it, because people are more acceptable to shit today. So
yeah, I don't think people are as organized today as they were in the past. Like you have
nowhere near.
me and Marcus and I were talking about this the other day, where there's always the talk of the silent minority, where it's really the silent majority, and you have this little small group of people that are on the internet that scream, and everybody else doesn't really give a rat's ass about it. So it's like, this little piece of entertainment world is the one that's complaining, but everybody else is like, nah, I'm all good with it. And you can look at wrestling for that, right? So you have all these horrible fans when it comes to wrestling and stuff like that, and they complain. Like Jey Uso is the world champion right now. People complaining about that, but if you go to your arenas and stuff like that, the reaction is completely different, right? So yeah, I don't
they
think
tend to be the
people are
loudest, like you said. They tend to be the loudest, those little small percentage of people.
Yep, because they have nothing else to do with their time, where all of us are like, yeah, let's roll on to what we're doing, right? All right, so let's jump into our first piece of news. So I know Lucas and Noah haven't had a chance to see it, so we're going to keep this, of course, spoiler-free. But Clown in the Cornfield came out, and I went to see this the day after opening night. I didn't get to catch the fan release on Wednesday, so I went on the Thursday. And let me tell you, this is fun movie. Fun movie. You enjoy all the characters in it, unlike Until Dawn, what we were talking about a few weeks ago. But fun movie. Really enjoyed it. There's some new twists that are done in this film that have never been done before. So I think we have a lot of film directors and writers out there that are looking at all the scraps that Scream has left on the table and like, you know what? You don't want to do it? We'll take that and we'll
We'll
do it
do
in
it.
our movie.
Yep.
We'll take this and do
And
that in
do
our
it
movie.
better.
And
And do
yes,
it better.
exactly. And
Yeah.
do a lot better. So
Yeah.
this story has some nice twists and turns that you're not going to really be able to see coming. But this would be a 5 out of 5 for me, except for the ending. So
They
you
didn't stick the
have
landing.
yep, you have great masks, you have some great kills, you have a really good potential for a final girl, another girl up and coming in the horror industry if she chooses to stay in it. The story is interesting, the characters are interesting. It just goes along, and then you get to the ending, and it's like you feel like somebody else wrote the ending because it just does
Yeah.
not fit.
I'm gonna respond to Nerdy Girlie's comment. She thought it sucked based on reviews. You can't really
Mhm.
listen to critics, man. Like if you're just, true horror fans, just go to have fun. They don't get all pretentious and think about, oh, this the next Oscar winning, horror movie or anything like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, not like
It
Scream
was just a
7. That's winning all the Oscars.
right,
Yep.
right.
Mhm.
Like if you just go in not really expecting anything and just looking to have a good time, Nerdy Girlie, it's a fun, like David said, it's a very fun film. It's
Mhm.
well written. It just doesn't quite stick the landing as it should have.
Mhm.
So, like me, I give it out a 3 out of 5 stars. It was a really good film. It was shot well. The music
Oh yeah.
score was great.
Mhm.
The kills were great. The acting was good.
Mhm.
It was just a damn good time,
Yep.
until the
Yeah.
until that was it. Yep.
Yeah. What I know what me and Marcus tend to do, and I'm sure Noah and Lucas probably do this as well, is you tend to just find a few different people that are out there that do reviews, and they're typically on the same level as what you go and see and watch and stuff like that, and then you can go on those reviews. Because if you go by everybody's reviews, then it's gonna be like it's gonna be horrible, and
Yeah.
then you miss out on something good. I would say like what I try to do from being back in my blockbuster days is I always try to find another film that I would say, well, if you like this film, you're going to like
Mhm.
this one.
Mhm.
But if I have to think of any movie to say that if you like this film, you're going to like this one, I'm going to say Freddy versus Jason. If you
I
like Freddy
actually
versus
say
Jason,
Fear Street. I say Fear
yeah.
Street. It feels like
Well,
it would fit in the Fear Street universe for me.
I think so, without the time
Yeah.
traveling and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, those are the comparisons that I would go with because I can't think of any other slasher type film that kind of fits this mold a little bit.
Mhm.
So, Freddy versus Jason kind of reminds me of that a little bit more because there's a party element to it and everything like that. A
Mhm.
little bit of Scream 4 is tossed in there too. A
Mhm.
little bit of Scream 4 is thrown in there. So I think if you like
Mhm.
Scream 4, if you like Freddy versus Jason, Marcus is calling out Fear Street, then you'll like Clown in the Cornfield. Just the ending is gonna kind of let you down on it. So it's gonna be a high, and then it's gonna be like, what the hell did you just do? So
Uh, to Brendan Hayes' comment, yes and no. I can't agree with what you said, but to a certain degree, and I think it was intentional that they did it that way, because of the twist that you'll see. Yeah.
yep, yep. So this is my comment as I'm saying where Scream left stuff on the table. Other people are saying like, you know what, you don't want to do it, we're going to do it, and that's where I was very happy to see that. Another way to describe it is like on our podcast here, and the one night we had this huge debate offline in regards to the Battle of the Generations. You see that smartly done in this movie. It was well written, where you have Gen
Chef's
X
kiss.
stuff versus Gen Y and Gen Z stuff today, and it's just like the confusion, and it explains everything that no other horror movie that has
Mhm.
attempted to do it where it would make sense, and they touch on it so nicely in it. It's like yes, perfect, Marcus, like you said, chef's kiss on it. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed that part in the movie when they're doing that, and I'm not going to say what it is because if you do go and watch it, I want you to see it and say, oh, that's awesome. So, but
Word.
my question to you and everybody that is watching right now is so we're having a rehash or a birth of clowns again in the horror genre. So we had Pennywise, we have Art the Clown, we now have Clown in the Cornfield. There's quite a few straight to streaming clown horror movies that are out there. Is it's gonna die out really quick? Is it gonna be overdone? No, we'll start with you. Clown slasher movies, clown paranormal movies. What do you think?
I mean, well, it was in what 2017, and then there's been a handful of notable horror clown-based slasher films. So I wouldn't even say it's getting a huge. Like, some people are looking at the idea of killer clowns or spooky clowns and trying to run with it. I don't think that it's going to be as big as like slashers are right now, and I don't think it's going to be a huge. I don't think it's going to be a huge fad. I think that it's going to be a rather small thing. I think it's going to stay consistent to where it's at. We'll see a couple of good ones here and there. I think that the reason that the Cornfield one is so it is a good movie, but also independent films as a genre of horror films, you can call it, are making a huge comeuppance right now. So seeing the independent horror films in theaters and doing well, I would contribute this film more so to just being an independent horror film than it just being a clown film. So I would not say that there's going to be a huge clown pandemic again, like there was when there was actual people dressing up as clowns. That would be cool though if someone made a movie based off of that.
Look, that all
I don't think it's gonna be a big thing
because of Pennywise back in like 2016 when the first It came out, or like when was it? 2017 was it?
17 and 2019 for Chapter 2.
Yeah. I the only reason that clowns really became a huge thing was because that and the year prior Suicide Squad had come out with the new Joker and Harley Quinn, and that was a big couples thing for dumbass reasons. And so it's not really, it can't really just be accredited to like a whole bunch of like clown projects coming out and being super appreciated. To be honest, it was really just the two, because that's the only two the mainstream really saw. And
I feel like that's true.
I can tell you the amount of clown movies that I've seen in the past couple of years that weren't like, I don't even know, like just on YouTube, and it was like well, not clown movies, but like clown themed horror movies. Like it's literally just It Chapter 1, Chapter 2, and then Terrifier for me. Like I haven't seen anything else that I can say is of note. But to be honest, I don't really I don't watch a whole bunch of smaller projects. I do tend to watch a lot of like the larger movies that come out in, like theaters and stuff like that. I like going to theaters and I like enjoying movies and shit.
I would say the one thing, there never really was a huge subgenre of like clown horror films or just clown themed stuff in movies, period. I think what it was the reason why it'll never go anywhere, because it's one of the most top, at least top 5 phobias for people is clowns. So it's always going to be in somebody's, mind. So it's always going to attract people to watch. Come watch whatever it is involving a clown.
Yeah,
so I don't think it'll ever go anywhere. It's like what Noah said; it'll pretty much stay the way it is. But
it's
people are going to watch it
in society as it is. I don't think it's really much of a fad when it just kind of like starts sticking out every now and then.
Yeah, and then Eli Roth just made an announcement that he's working on Clown 2 with his new production company, and then Killer Clowns is getting another resurgence soon. So
from outer space.
Yep.
It's a TV series on Netflix. I think they're gonna. I think Ryan Gosling's producing it or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Oh, big for a horror. Well, I guess not technically a horror game, but like horror themed games. If anybody's interested out there, Devil May Cry got an anime release.
Yeah, Scout Taylor Compton is in it.
Very good.
Yeah,
very, very good.
Her and a dude from Power Rangers that played the Black Ranger.
Oh, word?
Yeah, not the Black Ranger. I mean the one that played the Black Ranger in the movie.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's awesome. But yeah, like if anybody's a fan out there, if anybody doesn't know, I love Devil May Cry. It's one of my favorite horror themed like video games that's out there that deals with demons and stuff.
Yep.
Such a cool series, except for the second one. But it's all good. And as soon as I saw that it released, it's been a few weeks now.
Yeah, like 2 weeks.
Watched it all in
3
one
weeks.
night. Watched it all in one
Mhm.
night. It's fantastic. I truly do stand by that.
Yeah, I used to play that all the time. I wish I
Mhm.
had more time to play video games. That would be one of the ones I would going back to play.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So let's move on to our next item here. But let's see. We got a question here. If they do another live action Power Rangers movie, how would you guys feel if they had a female Green Ranger and it said have Tommy as?
They already had a green female ranger
Oh,
in the Power Rangers movie, Ursa. She was the original Green Ranger.
Yeah.
In the one that
Mhm.
came out in like a few years ago with the dude
Look,
from Stranger Things. Yeah.
my interest
I like that
in
movie.
my interest in the Power Rangers ended with the Pink Ranger from the original series being gone off the show. That was it.
Yeah,
That was
everybody
like
had a crush on her.
Yep.
Everybody
What's
had a
her name?
crush on her.
Amy something. Oh,
I forgot.
God.
Amy
Yeah.
Amy Jo Johnson, something like that.
Oh yeah, it had to be something like that. She was.
Yeah, she was hot.
All
But
right, so-
I would be excited as all hell to see a new Power Rangers movie though. That would be fantastic.
I mean, I actually like the one they did with the dude from
the one that
Yeah,
they
the
did
one
most
that
recently.
they
Like,
did
give
wasn't
us
bad.
something like that with like
Yeah.
the actual just like Power Ranger designs that everybody knows. Like, give us a serious story that has the funky costumes and shit. I would love that.
you guys keep talking. I'm gonna go grab something related
Yeah,
to this
like,
Go away.
topic.
I would
I don't know,
love. So they did. I don't know if you all seen it, but YouTube did. Katie Sackhoff was in it. But they did like a more adult version of Power Rangers. You can find it on YouTube.
Oh, word.
It was actually well done. It was like a short film, and Katie Sackhoff was. I can't remember. She played the Pink Ranger. It was where, like, I won't spoil it, but the Rangers were getting taken out one by one, and that's all
Is
I'll
that
say.
what I think it is?
I
That is
don't
what I
want
think.
Power
Voltron?
Rangers.
Oh,
I
Voltron!
want
that?
Voltron.
We're getting a Voltron movie. Henry Cavill is starring in it.
Yeah.
Henry
This
Cavill,
Which is nuts. This
This is the die-cast metal version, the one that got kids sick and they pulled off the market. That's
Yeah,
right.
I had
Give me
that one.
Voltron.
I had
Now we're
that
getting
one.
adults sick with it who bought it
Yeah.
as kids.
Yep. All right,
Yeah.
let's see what
Oh
else
my
we got
God.
going on here.
That'd be so cool.
Yes,
Before we
King
go,
Matthew. I saw Thunderbolts and I liked it.
I haven't seen
Great
it.
movie. Great
Yeah, I
movie.
thought it was
No one
really
needs to
good.
see it.
well, look. Again, we'll keep it spoiler free. But is Thunderbolts good because of the lack of quality MCU movies that are
I
out
say
there?
it's a little bit of both.
Yeah,
bit of
or look, Marcus is jumping ahead. He's psychic. Or if we take the Thunderbolts and throw it back in the original phases, is it as good as the other films?
I say it's a little bit of both. I definitely say it's on par with the original, like Captain America, the first phase of films, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man, Captain America, First Avenger. It fits in line with those films, even the Winter Soldier. But at the same time, because of the fatigue of how much we've had of Marvel the past decade plus, it's a little bit of both because this last phase in TV shows has just been, hit and miss. So yeah, I say it's a little bit of both.
We should point out, you say decade, it's been almost 2 decades of Marvel because we're approaching 2028 soon.
Oh shit, yeah.
Is it fatigue? Is it fatigue of how much Marvel we have, or is it just because they're producing garbage? It's like, because like the movies that they were producing,
it's not about the amount, it's about how often they drop it. See, because of the fact that we were getting 3 or 4 films a year back then, and then now they starting to do the TV shows, and then I told your dad to check it out if y'all get a chance. He is another YouTuber, but if you look up Tyrone Magnus, he released a video of some other YouTuber broke it down perfectly, where it's not about, like, fans don't complain about how much is out there, it's about how often they do it, where it's just like, damn, people can't keep up, and it's just a little bit too much that they're giving it. So if they were to spread it out a little bit more, the amount of it would be fine. people would accept it,
Nah,
but just give it
I
a
mean, it's
little bit
also
of breather.
a lot of it's
you know?
lazy too, though. A lot of it is like
Well, yeah,
lazy
yeah, yeah, yeah.
stories.
So
Yeah,
this is where my hat would be tossed in. I think personally, Marvel has just a severe quality issue with most things after Endgame,
and
and
They choked after Endgame.
it's not something that it can be like, oh well, people just didn't want to go to them. No, it was the quality of the projects. It was the people that were hearing about this movie and being like, oh well, you can probably miss it. It really isn't that good. Like
Yeah.
for
Like
a
the
while
Eternals.
it's been like that, and it's been like that for a couple of years now. Like
Yeah.
it,
Thor
it's not-
4. Thor 4
Thor
was the
4
beginning of the
fucking
end.
started it.
Yeah,
Oh
that
Oh,
was the
Thor
beginning
4
of the
made
end.
my head sore.
That movie broke
Yep.
my heart because you could tell that there was some intent to make it like an actual emotional Thor story about him having a tragic love story with Jane Foster again. That you can see where that was, but it just got so drowned in all of the forced comedy in that movie that it just turned to shit so fast. And
Also,
I
way
love
to nerf one of the greatest villains in Thor's lineup.
I was
too.
about to say, yeah, Noah beat me to it because Gore is such an awesome villain.
And
so Gore was a badass in the comics, and Christian
and
Bale
you got
did
a
a good job
great
with what
actor
he had
to
to work
do.
with.
Yeah,
he did a good job, but it was just y'all nerfed him, man.
Yeah.
And
Speaking
then y'all
of
introduced the all black without even mentioning what's my man's name?
Null.
Created the symbiotes. No, you introduced all black without introducing Null, so that was a big mistake. You know what I mean? So
even if at that point, even if we already knew how Thor was going to turn out, regardless with all the jokes and shit, if it was just a throwaway joke, I would have preferred that than just ignoring it. But it's I think Thunderbolts, for me, I'm such a sucker for a mental health story about superheroes. I love that shit. I love Moon Knight, and they do that constantly in his comics.
He
and
did
it's
such an amazing job. Lewis Pullman, it was just so hard. I was like, dude, all I see is his dad. All I wanted him to yell
if
was,
you guys like Lewis Pullman as Bob in Thunderbolts, you'll love him in Lessons in Chemistry on Apple TV. It's a science show from the 1950s.
Yeah,
that show is so traumatizing. Jesus Christ.
So
he convinced me in Good Times at the Bad Times at the El Royale with Chris Hemsworth.
Oh yeah, that was
Pullman held his own in that movie. Like he's
also an Nepo baby, which I did not know.
Playing someone named Bob.
Yeah.
Oh, so you got to start a trend now. But I'll tell you this. You know what I think where Disney and MCU got it right? Because Marcus and I had this major conversation about it because I just watched Agatha all along and I didn't really care for it. But it was a movie that had a message but did not shove it down your damn throat. Like it's like I get it. I don't need you to point it out to me. Like I understand I ain't stupid, right? And they didn't force the whole, the mental, fatigue and aspect on you. Like it was there. It was a very good story to kind of play out.
Let's talk about fucking the fucking Secret Invasion.
No, we don't need to talk about it. We don't need to talk
about
it.
Oh my god.
We're moving on. We're moving on.
The exact opposite of what you're describing right now.
I just want to say, for anybody who's going in to see Thunderbolts, the best way to go about it is to have no expectations. This is not going to be a movie that changes your life. This is not going to be a movie that ruins everything that's happened before in the MCU. It is a movie that fits perfectly where it is for the story that it wants to tell and the situation that they're basically putting it in. The actors are all great. There's a genuinely heartfelt storyline. And god damn, it's just so well written and directed. It's
and Taskmaster's there too.
But
I only had one
out for yourself
issue with it, and Noah just said it. That was my only issue with the movie. Noah just said it.
No,
because that's my favorite. That's one of my favorite villains in the comic. So I was like,
Nope.
I'm shutting up. I'm shutting up now.
Stop talking.
I was angry. I was angry.
Oh my god. Stop talking about
International box office. We need to hit $100,000 more dollars. You got this, and we are gonna make some funny shit happen.
All right, so let's move over to this. So Marcus, you had called this out. So Sinners is
kicking
ass at the box office.
Yeah, for 24 days straight now. It's been well, it was number 1 for 2 weeks, and now it's number 2 for the past 2 weeks. But the fact that Variety said that they weren't going to make their money, with a $90 million, $100 million budget, it's proven. Look, it's proven everybody wrong, man. Almost
crazy
300
what happens
million.
when you let someone make a movie. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane.
Man.
When you let someone with a vision make a movie.
And this is huge for Warner Brothers because everybody knows how Warner Brothers is with their distribution and the quality of films that they put out, especially the past 5 years or so.
With everything with DC, like with DC and just everything
Trust
in
was
between.
another tax
Warner
write-off.
Brothers.
Yep.
Like they took a gamble with this film. They took a
Gone.
gamble with Ron Coogler on this one, and it's paying off, man. And so the rumor is that we might get a whole Sinners, not necessarily like an MCU type universe thing, but they plan on like.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, they want to make.
it.
They want to make.
Now
we're gonna
I was
kill it.
wondering.
I think that it's a really cool idea. I think
Yeah.
it's a really cool idea if they do it right.
It's going to be like
May
separate
I-
stories, but all kind of like interconnected.
Yeah.
somehow.
May I
Yeah.
interject with my thoughts on this?
Go
So, are we talking about spoilers of the movie?
No.
No.
I mean,
Okay,
it's
then-
been
All
out a
right. You
month.
know what? Yeah,
It's been out a
yeah,
month.
we're on.
Yeah, it's been out a
Okay.
month.
So here's where I think
Wait.
that's
Hold
a
on one second. Hold on one second. I gotta put the warning up.
You've been warned.
All right, let's jump into it.
the spoiler.
Yeah.
The spoiler.
Sinners.
Okay, so now that we're past the spoiler warning, so
I
why I
can't
think
wait to
that
talk
would be
about this movie.
why I think it's a good idea. So I mean, the Native American vampires, that would be a cool fucking story. I'd be
The
interested to
top
see
guy.
where they came from, why they're so against going after humans and whatnot. Because it didn't seem like that they were hunting humans. It seems like they were going after.
Oh, you talk about the Native
They weren't-
Americans?
Yeah, they
They
were
were after
vampires.
Remick. They
They're
were after
vampire
they
hunters.
were vampire hunters.
Yeah.
They were vampire hunters.
Well, they didn't they have to go back down and say, oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Vampire hunters, okay. So, okay,
Yeah, the
still, that's
chapter-
still an interesting story right there.
chapter.
Why did they become vampire hunters? That means that, honestly,
Mhm.
I mean, you could play it that vampires and natives were fighting before colonization. That would be cool.
Mhm.
I want to learn more about.
Remick.
That is so damn good. Like Native Americans, Indians versus vampires.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sign me up.
Like
Yep.
Abe Lincoln versus vampires, but like a more heartfelt.
They done that.
storyline.
Yeah, they done that.
Okay, but that movie was
Um,
dope. Okay, that
It
movie
was
was
the
dope,
main
as fuck.
Crappy CGI, but
the,
it was dope.
the main vampire, what is he?
Remick.
Because when so what is he? Because like he turned into a weird thing at the end, and also I'm pretty sure they touched up on him being a slave as well in Ireland, in his past.
So what it was this. I don't know if you were taught this in school, nephew, and I hate to use this term, but the Irish were always considered the N-word of Europe. That was the title that would come
Yes.
with Irish.
Yeah,
back
no,
then,
yeah,
the
we know that
N-word
too.
of Europe. So
We finally heard.
that's why like when Smoke was like, "Are y'all Klan?" Remick was like, offended by it. He was like, "No, sir." But that's because he could relate, because that's how the Irish were treated, in Europe.
Mhm.
I caught wind of like the slavery reference to when he was when Sammy was praying in the water at the end, and he started talking about people who came into his land and were giving him falsehoods of the religion as well. Yeah. So I'm glad that I like that they touched up on that. The stuff at the end credit scene, like there's so many different stories that they could do, past, present, and future. At the on the other side of that coin, though, this movie is good as a standalone. I think that this movie could stay as a standalone, and then all the ideas we're having, they could just be like our own like kind of spin on it, and like whatever our imaginations play into the broader universe of the characters, we can do that on our own time. You know what I mean? I think it could go either way depending on what's up.
I'll go ahead. No, I was gonna say, but it was more than just a vampire film too, because it also touched on, if you know the story of what the Crossroads is about.
I do know
how
about the
famous
story of the
people-
Crossroads. Yeah.
Yeah, selling your soul to the devil to
I
become
would
famous
love
and
to
stuff.
My
see
favorite.
something
musical
about
folklore.
the Smoke and Stack working with Al Capone. That would be something cool to talk about.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then if
You
you
could-
notice
think-
you
too,
could
like
several short stories if you wanted to make it an anthology film if you wanted to. That would be cool, but I think it would work either. I think it would work either. You could either do a broader universe, or you could kind of just leave it up to the imagination of the viewer.
like I said earlier, I think they're gonna do one-off stories, but
Okay.
like it's all connected, but like not bring back other characters from previous things. You know what I mean? But the world itself is connected.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yep. Go ahead, Lucas. What were you
It's
gonna
also
say?
a beautiful movie.
Well, so my like I guess idea for like what they would even do to like I guess make this a franchise if they wanted to keep like a hold on Michael B. Jordan and Haley Steinfeld, fucking have them like since it started in like the 30s or what was it?
1932.
Prohibition.
Yeah, 1932.
The year after Capone was arrested.
Because then you can just have them go like throughout the years and be like different. I don't know, different kind of like because it seems like they've gone through a lot of different experiences by the end of the movie whenever they finally reunite with the cousin. So I think it would be cool to see like some of their adventures from like what goes on in there, and you can like maybe they like fuck it, I don't know, fight werewolves or some shit. That would be kind of cool if they wanted to go down the Native American versus the vampire route. Maybe they fight those vampire hunters from the beginning. But I don't know. I think they have good potential with it.
Also touch up on more of the voodoo ritual magic as well.
Exactly, because there was so many connections with that they had, and then she knew way too much about it for it to be something that hasn't happened before.
Yeah, I like
that's what
the
I
idea.
love.
I was gonna say I like the idea that you threw out there, Marcus, of anthologies. Like, give me an animated anthology of the characters. I'm good with it.
Like, I love the idea of one question I had was Remick a born vampire or was he turned back then?
Yeah,
because of the fact
especially
that
with like how
if you
he
really,
looked at the end.
Yeah, like if you really like listen to what he said about his connection to Sammy and Sammy having that gift to call to his people, he had the same gift. Because like look at what happened when the whole Road to Dublin scene where they all joined in. They had the hive mind mentality.
I
But he
love
had
that.
gift.
I love that too.
Yeah, he had that gift too. So I was curious to see if Remick was a Philly too, and maybe a vampire turned him, because of his gift. You know what I mean? So like, it's so many roles that they could take with this. That they could do.
Another thing is, too, is like, who specifically are his people that he's referring to? Is he referring to underworldly beings as well? And if so, what kinds are we not knowing about in this universe? There's so many small little details that they're like, oh, well, we'll give you these little nuggets, and like, what does it mean?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering too. Where like, was it just his people when he was human, or was he talking about like actual vampires? Like, yeah, that's what I want to know too. Yeah.
Yep. So I there's been a resurgence in vampire films, right? So The Sinners is not the only really good vampire film that we've gotten in the last how many years, because we have Abigail. Abigail was not only mine, but I've seen on several YouTuber channels where that was the #1 film for last year. Then we also have The Last Voyage. Yeah, Last Voyage to Demeter was an amazing film as well. So come on, Marcus.
That's all right.
And then we have
personally, I like Dracula on Netflix more than The Last Voyage of Demeter, but it was okay.
So we've had a lot of good vampire films, but where we're struggling at is where Scott just came up and said, like, I would love to see a werewolf movie multiverse, like 2 Wolfmen movies from 42 and 2010, American Werewolf in London, Ginger Snaps, I love it. Ginger Snaps 2, Scott. Ghost in that character.
The Howling, baby.
Well, good thing we just got a Wolfman movie.
Yep.
Trash.
There was a lot of werewolf movies that came out last year. I think there was like 3 or 4 of them that came out. They went to instant streaming. I have the reviews up over on my letterbox. But there was like Hellhounds. There was Blackout. There was a few that came out. Oh, even werewolves that came out at the end of the year. And none of them were that really.
That was fun.
What?
You
That
know,
no.
It was fun. It was just cheesy. It was just cheesy and bad CGI,
I think
but
we talked about this like
it
when
was
it came
fun.
out too.
I like
This
Frank
was
Grillo
what's
though.
face,
I
right?
like
It's like with
Frank Grillo.
Yeah, but that's
I
what the
like Frank
movie was.
Grillo.
Like we
Yeah,
talked
okay.
about this last year, like when it came out on a podcast or something like that. The movie was about Frank Grillo at the end taking his shirt off and having the light shine on his immaculate body. It's like, what are we doing? That doesn't fit.
I do want to say, if we want to compare that to anything, we could compare that to Hugh Jackman at the end of Van Helsing when he deformed
Van
from
Helsing,
Wolfman to show his half-naked
Yeah.
body.
I'm so glad you
reformed.
brought that up. I'm so glad you brought that up.
That's a much better movie. That's a much better movie. But like they did the same thing. I mean, you have to appeal to all audiences, and man titties are a male audience appealer.
We need another Van Helsing movie. I think that's what we need. The best of both worlds, right there. And get Hugh Jackman back in this shit. We need another one.
I think
Because that movie was so much fun. Whether it was horrible or not, it was so much fun.
Is that movie absolutely
opening
stupid?
scene
Yeah, maybe.
dealing with Dr. Jekyll, or what was it, Mr. Hyde? And like them going through like the fact that he hunts like these mythical creatures. Come on, that's cool. It's cool. It's Hugh Jackman. He's got long hair with a duster and a cool hat.
It was so.
And he turns into a werewolf. Here's the thing.
I'm sold. Kate Beckinsale comes back. I'm in. That's all I need. That's
I will say Underworld progressively got worse as the series went on after 3. Like 1 and 2 are really good, but Underworld, like if they can,
3 was good.
If they can reboot that series in a better, I didn't like 3 that much, but if they could do something better with that,
I like Rise of the Lycans.
What was it? Was it 3 or was it the film that Kate Beckinsale returned to the advertising trailer had her bending down and crawling through a shaft? It's like, oh my god, let's put her ass in the trailer. We'll get guys in there, and that's what happened.
Yeah, that was the one she returned because she wasn't in 3.
Maybe it was...
she wasn't in 3.
Yeah, you gotta love that the way they.
3 was the prequel.
Yeah,
3 was the prequel about the werewolf. Rise of the Lycans.
Let's see. Scott's got it. And why do they do a sequel to Van Helsing? Which I don't think they
would, but it would be so cool if they did.
Why don't we reboot the Universal monsters, actually make them good, and then build that up to a Monster Squad reboot? How about we do that shit then? Let's just do that. Monster Squad was a great fucking movie. I love that movie.
I want to see Monster Squad with the today's killers and slashers in it. Monster Squad with Jason, Freddy.
Yep. Well, if we're talking about today's killers and slashers, you would technically be like Jigsaw, Leslie Vernon, Art, stuff like that. And I don't know if today's kids can handle Art. I think that's pretty evident.
So let's see. Worldwide, Van Helsing did $300 million for its box office in 2004. So that's a lot of money for back then. I'm looking to see if I can see what the budget was. Here, I'll share my screen with you guys so you can all see that.
The movie made money.
Yeah, it made money.
It can.
I mean, because it was capitalizing. It was capitalizing off of The Mummy 1 and 2 at the time. Since it was the same director. So yeah.
So we got 300 million, and then let's look at the budget real quick to see.
Today's time that would be about.
Look at that! It doubled its money back. It doubled its money back. So I don't.
We deserve it.
I think it's because it was critically panned. They like, no, we made our money and we're done. We don't want it.
They were like, nah, we made a buck.
It was
CGI was horrible.
I think if they were to make another Van Helsing movie, I honestly don't even care if it's a sequel. I think I just like the story of Van Helsing as like a character. Not from specifically that movie, but like in like the folklore.
That definitely wasn't the best version of Van Helsing.
Would be pretty fucking cool to watch. I think they should make a Van Helsing trilogy of movies where they actually like go through his real folklore and shit behind all that stuff. That would be sick as hell.
So just to answer Scott's question out there is like, hey, we need more female werewolf movies. So this is the one that I was talking about that came out last year, Hellhounds. That is female driven. So there's another female, not driven, but there's a female vampire. Well, there's of course the Howling that's out there for female werewolves. But there's another one. If I mention it, it's kind of a spoiler because it's hidden until the end. So, man, I don't. I want to say it, but there's one that's out there that came out in the early 2000s.
Just write it
that
on
is
a note
female-based.
and then somehow find a way to suggest the movie in a way that's unrelated to werewolves, and then you'll still suggest that people watch the movie, and then
There
they'll see
was
it's
a
like, oh shit,
decent-
this is the movie we're talking about.
There was a decent werewolf movie that had a strong female werewolf in it. The only thing I hated about the movie, Wolves. If you ever seen Wolves with Jason Momoa, the only thing that I hated about the movie was the final werewolf design for like Momoa and Lukas Till. They made them look like big Ewoks, but the movie itself was like good, and the female werewolves in the movie were good. The movie was actually good, but they look like freaking Ewoks.
Terrifying, man.
Like, yeah. And then of course you got the whole spin-off story that you can do off of Trick or Treat. So
yeah, but, there is the werewolves in that.
Yeah.
Oh, give us the Trick or Treat.
That would be such an interesting story because it's a female pack of werewolves and they lure the guys in there. That's an interesting story. But let's switch gears. Let's talk about Friday the 13th, the animated series. So hopefully I'll be able to play some sound here.
45 years.
Yeah. So this is from Womp Stomp Films. Hopefully you guys can hear it. But an animated Friday the 13th 10-minute short video that's coming.
Nice. Well, you heard the casting, right?
No, we'll talk about that in a second.
Okay.
But look at this. That is
nice.
So the Indigo campaign is up right now, so you can go ahead and contribute to it. We've Noah, myself, Marcus, I think you too. We've known Vincent since 2017, 2018.
Yeah, we've known him for a while.
He did the fan film Never Hike Alone, which is a franchise in itself. There's Never Hike Alone. There's Never Hike Alone the Ghost Cut. There's Never Hike Alone in the Snow. Jason in the Snow. And
which
then we got
always wanted.
Yep. And then we got Never Hike Alone 2, which is my God. It's a freaking masterpiece living on YouTube. And why nobody is hiring Vincent to film movies for major studios is beyond me, because his work is impeccable. His storytelling is impeccable. But if you've been missing out and really need to see a Friday the 13th film, you want to go on check out the Never Hike Alone series. And if you're a parent that's like, I don't want to introduce Jason to my kids at a certain age, you can do that with this series because it's not violent enough or like super gory where you're going to scar your kids. But it's just a very well told story. I've contributed to his campaigns almost every single time it's been out there. So I have to look and see what the perks are for this. But yeah, I'm excited to see a Friday the 13th animated version.
And their new project, this is all for Friday the 13th, but just giving praise to Vincent and his team, man. They're doing what Disney should be doing, but they're doing a Star Wars horror film too. That's their next project.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and they just released it a couple days ago, like images of what they're doing.
Yeah. Now, when they were talking about doing the Camp Crystal Lake TV show, and the idea was thrown out there, is like, hey, every season is going to be a continuation of the film. That was Vincent's idea. Like when we met Vincent back in 2019, and we could talk about it now because it didn't happen, but he had went to whoever had the license at the time, and he pitched them the idea. It's like, hey, let's make a anthology of films that takes place after. Let's see what happens after Manhattan. Let's see what happens after he goes to hell. Let's see what happens after he goes to space. And he pitched those ideas out there, and I thought it's like, that's a good idea. I'd be down for it because he's a very good storyteller. So like had me sold on the first film.
Word.
Yeah.
So
and now, piggybacking off of that, they cast Linda Cardellini as Pamela Voorhees, and I love her. And if you don't know who she is, she was Velma in the Scooby-Doo movies. She was recently what was Rocket's girlfriend name in Guardians of the Galaxy 3? The Otter. She played the Otter. She was the Otter. Yeah, Lila. Yeah, she was Lila. Yeah, so now she's Pamela Voorhees, and I know she'll probably knock that out the park because she's just that good of an actress. So.
Wait. She played Velma in the Scooby-Doo movies.
Yep.
So it's also Hawkeye's wife?
Yeah.
Yep. Hawkeye's wife. Yeah.
Yep. She's in Grandma's Boy. If you haven't seen Grandma's
Grandma's
Boy,
Boy. She's in
Daddy's
the Green Book. Yeah,
Mhm.
the Green Book with
She's out
Viggo
of
Mortensen. Yeah.
She's got
Oh yeah, I
range.
love Linda.
Yeah, she's got range.
dope.
So Noah, with you being our resident Friday the 13th fanboy on there, so what's your thoughts on seeing or getting a animated short?
I mean, is it a fan or is it officially made?
It's coming out next year.
No, that's not at all
It's
what
a fan film. It's from Vincent DeSanti.
Okay, that's what I was asking you. I didn't know if it had any official backing behind it. I don't know if they're still doing any of that like legality bullshit or whatever. I mean, the animation looks cool. Getting to see a horror animation for Jason is definitely going to be really cool, and I'm hoping that this does do well. Because if it does, I would assume that this might open up the possibility for future animations that they could do with the project. So that would be cool. I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna give it a little look see. I think it looks pretty interesting. Who knows? Maybe it'll be good.
Yeah.
I forgot what the actual battle is. I think the writer Victor has the rights to Jason's name, while Cunningham has the rights to Friday the 13th as a whole. Yeah.
It's someone else. Isn't it like someone else has the rights to Jason's design?
Yeah, the mask is separate.
The mask is separate. Yeah, the mask is separate. Yeah.
It's a hockey mask.
Yep, hockey mask is separate from It's a giant mess. Nerdy Girl, if you're looking to see where Never Hike Alone is, it's free on YouTube. So if you type it in, you'll be able to see all of the movies on that. So that's where you can watch those at. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. I know just from having seen the previous works from Monster Stomp Films that this is going to be amazing. So I'm pretty excited for it. And then just before we cross over into our next topic real quick, another great Friday the 13th fan film that's out there is the Bloodlines from Jason Brooks. Now, Jason Brooks has been on our channel many times too, and now he has his first feature length that hit theaters, and it's The Death of Snow White. And unfortunately, it did not make it to this area, but I've heard it's really good. So if you have Death of Snow White playing at a Regal or Cinemark by you, go and check that out. Another great independent filmmaker.
Did Disney release that in all theaters?
13 stuff. No, man, I checked.
No. Not the.
I know, because the live action was a death to
Never
Snow.
mind. He was making a joke. I see now.
Yeah. So
let's not go on that tangent about that one.
No.
That was a horror movie within itself, dude.
Yeah. So
freaking
Snow White Snow White is redeemed in this, and it's kind of funny. I don't know if we talked about it on the channel, but like, what's the true horror of these characters right now? Is it Disney doing all the live action movies? That's the real horror of it, or is it the horror remakes? Because like Screamboat was fantastic, Neverland was fantastic, Winnie the Pooh is fantastic. I'm looking forward to Bambi. Bambi's coming out soon. That's the next one.
I'm looking forward to the Popeye one. I'm looking forward to Popeye.
I still want them to make that Dwayne The Rock Johnson Bambi movie. Oh my god, I want to see that so bad.
I have to check that out. But I've started the two Popeye movies. I started the two Popeye movies. I have not finished it, so I have to get back to those. I just keep my interest enough. So we're gonna switch topics to the Conjuring universe. We did have the trailer. Yep. We had the trailer drop for this. Yeah,
I guess I'm in the minority, to be honest. Like, out of the entire universe, the only films that I like out of the entire universe are Conjuring 1 and 2 and Annabelle Creation. Everything else, I'm just like, I like
Conjuring
1 and 2 and Annabelle Creation,
and the first Annabelle. I honestly wasn't a huge fan of Creation.
Yeah, really? Wow.
Yeah, I love Creation.
I could quite literally care less that there's a new movie. I'm gonna be so for real. This series of movies died for me after I watched The Nun and didn't really like it all that much.
Which is sad because we met Bonnie.
Like, it's not a bad movie, but it's not like
it's a bad movie.
Like I
have less interest in these movies knowing that they're like I knew that there was always like.
But I didn't like the first one as much. The second one, I don't know what it was, but it just like I liked that one more. And then I didn't watch a single other like in this series of movies until like The Nun came out. Now I watched The Nun and I was like, I don't even really care. Like I really don't. Plus all of these stories are fake.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. Is like,
hold up, we'll get to it. We'll talk about it in a second. We will talk about it in a second. So the only thing out of the Conjuring universe I've seen is the Annabelle films and the Nun. That's about it. So I know nothing about the Conjuring. So the first Conjuring is very good. I think it's probably is one of the best ghost movies
very
that's
well
come out
paced
in a long time. Yes. Yep. Well paced. Introduced some fun things to it, like the clap game. The clap game is fun. The possession
oh my god,
scene
the
is
legs just
amazing.
slowly turning.
Yep. So I really enjoyed the first Conjuring. The second Conjuring kind of takes a step backwards because now that's the first film that they're trying to expand the entire universe because we have the introduction of the Crooked Man, we have the introduction of Annabelle, we have the ghost in the corner and stuff like that. So they did a lot in that. Yep, and then it just starts to go like the first Annabelle. No, I'm the opposite. I thought it was too slow for me. Where Annabelle Creation, I really enjoyed it. But then you got La Llorona. I know I'm saying it wrong, but that was not good. And then the last Conjuring film was really not good. Yeah, so like it's just kind of starting to
Who's
sink.
The guy that plays Ed?
Patrick Wilson.
Patrick Wilson. I like him in a different supernatural franchise. He is so much better.
Don't say.
I love the Insidious movies.
Oh, I hate those movies.
Those movies are good. What are you talking about?
First two are good. First one's really good. Second one is not bad.
The first two are great.
Second one's not bad. It's definitely a good continuation as its own movie, though. I like.
Love them as an actor.
They don't stand alone very well, but if you watch them back to back, it's a fun story. I like him so much better as the lead guy in those movies than I ever liked him as.
Dude, there's a third Conjuring movie. I completely forgot about the third Conjuring movie. That one was
it's horrible. That's why
I don't care.
So, and the director for this one is the same person, so it's like this is probably not going to be good. But Lewis,
the same director from The Devil Made Me Do It.
Yeah, and La Llorona. Yeah, so Lewis beat me to it. So he read my mind. So I'm glad they went with the Smurl family haunting for this one. I still introduced people to the 1991 The Haunted. That is a Fox movie. Yeah, that was very good. That was done on the Smurl family. It scared the hell out of me when I was a kid. But the Smurl house is here in my local neck of the woods. It's about 25 minutes from here. So it's very interesting. Yeah, it's still up.
I thought they tore it down.
Smurl house. Huh. No, it's still there. Yeah.
Wow. I'm pretty still there. So people live in it, if I'm not mistaken. Right? Don't people live in it?
So, yay.
Yeah. So we'll segue into what Lukas was hitting at before, because I was going to say that this is my next question is like, so the Warrens.
I had something that I wanted to talk about with this.
Go ahead, Noah.
Like these movies, like when these movies first came out, like obviously I knew that they were being embellished for the movies and whatnot. It's like obviously all this shit wasn't happening, but I mean we've all, I mean at least I know at least two of us here have had our own several instances of paranormal encounters, enough to believe that these things could have existed. It happened in some capacity, and then like stuff starts coming out. Shane and Ryan, when they were on BuzzFeed, they where they were egging on Annabelle, and then all the stuff starts coming out about these stories being just fake and these things not actually happening at all. And it really took me out of the franchise, because part of enjoying the franchise was believing some of it could have been real. I see Lukas laughing. He's just an idiot.
No, I'm not laughing at what you're saying. I'm laughing at the situation that they found themselves in, that they're still fucking making these movies after it's all been.
I mean, Ed and Lorraine Warren are dead. They're dead. I mean, Lorraine Warren died like right after the second.
Not looked very highly.
They got away with it
as well. Like they don't have the greatest PR team going.
Another thing too that doesn't sit me the right way, they make Ed and Lorraine Warren have this picture perfect marriage with this mom that lives with one of their mothers that lives with them, and also like they're good with their daughter. To my knowledge, Ed was not good to his wife, and they were not prominent roles in their daughters' lives. So obviously it was all for publicity so they could make money and whatnot. That is clear now. I don't think that everything that they had said was completely false. I mean, there are other reporters that have gone to these places and have said that the Amityville house does have something in it or whatever, although that has now 2 instances where there have been 2 separate lies to make 2 separate movies, which I think is really funny because you got the Conjuring and then the Amityville movie, which I think is hilarious because those are both now based off lies. This one being in West Pittston, that's kind of cool. Are they filming it in West Pittston? I don't know. They wouldn't be safe in West Pittston if they filmed it over there.
But so yeah, to touch on what you were kind of saying, so like going into it, Lorraine Warren, when I finally connected the dots, there was this paranormal show that came out right when Ghost Hunters took off. It was called Paranormal State, and Lorraine Warren was always on that show. But what happened with Paranormal State is the lead investigator got put in jail for being a scammer. He scammed a lot of people out of money and conned a lot of people out of money. And then it was shortly after that release where all the psychics, including Lorraine Warren, who they would bring on the show, where they would brought him in with blindfolds on and stuff like that, they tipped off all of the psychics going on to that show for the investigation with details about what was going on at the location that they were going to. So I was like, oh, Lorraine, she looks like such a sweet old lady, but she's a con artist, so she made money off of this stuff, right? And then
they were doing it until death.
Yeah.
Well, Supernatural took that and used it in the show where they had their ghost hunters.
Oh yes. They started becoming fans of Sam and Dean when they found out that this stuff was real. Oh my god!
So they were scammers. So they took it from that show that you're talking about.
Yeah, and I did when we were running our Pop 5 list show on the channel. I think it's the most episodes that we have on any show on our Nerdbox channel. But I set out to do like, hey, the 5 Warren cases that should be made into movies, and I went down a rabbit hole, and that's where I found out everything was fake. Like there is the Nun, there is no Valak, there is no Nun, there is nothing that suggests that she ever even existed. Because the basis of that story was that a rectory had burnt down, and when it got rebuilt, there was this guy that was going to investigate it and stuff like that. And he said, "Look, I see like this woman in white walking on the grounds because she was murdered there because she was in love with the priest or something like that." And this guy was a con artist too, because like they found him with devices on him, triggering all the stuff, and it's like years later, the Warrens went out there to investigate, and they confirmed it. It's like, dude, you should have did your research. You confirmed something that was proven fake a long time ago that there was no facts about. But
I mean, look at the original Annabelle doll. She was just a Raggedy Ann doll.
Now, granted, some people do go and see that doll, and they're like, "Oh my god, I feel a dark energy here." But it's like, come on, dude. Like, these stories make just that, good stories every now and then. And like now with them being movies, it's like, okay, yeah, there's a few cool movies out of them. But like, as soon as I go in and I see like the promo for these people where it's like, hey, I'm so and so and I'm so and so and we're your favorite ghost hunting couple, Ed and Lorraine, no, you're not. No, you're not. You're not my favorite. In fact, I disagree with everything that you do, but let's go for it.
Oh man, Just Another Horror brought up a good. I heard about this, but I can't remember like the full details. But he said that Ed knocked up his mistress. Oh wow, so it was true.
Yeah, it's true.
Wow.
Yeah. His daughter.
Can't wait for that to be in the new movie.
Yeah, they left that completely out of the movie.
Yeah, they left that one.
Yeah. Mommy, who's that girl in the corner? Don't look at her. Don't look at her. She's a ghost.
That's Valak. That's Valak.
So, yeah.
Yeah, they seem to have a lot of things from these movies, including the truth.
Yep. That's messed up.
So I wanted to get to Scott's question. How about one day the 4 reviews go to the Conjuring in the house one day and stay there for a night? One, no, because it's $1,000.
Yep.
It's $1,000 to stay at the
Not because
Conjuring
it's
house.
haunted, because
I'll go stay in
expensive.
Stumacher's house before I stay in this ripoff house.
Yep. If Scott, I don't know if you've been following, but the Conjuring house is shut down because of all the controversy that happened. So there was the other YouTubers that went there, and yeah. Sam and Colby went there, and they did a 4-part series at the Conjuring house, and it features Jason Hawes' daughter, who is one of these sensitive mediums that when she connects with her now husband, they can make the ghosts respond to by making knocks. And that whole entire thing blew up where they were completely debunked on, and it was taught on how you can learn how to make those knocks happen with the knuckles in your toes. And that blew up into a major controversy where the two of them started getting attacked because of the method of how they were doing things. And it turns out, like, when you would go to the Conjuring house, in order to go ahead and get your readings, you have to provide all of your information, like your name, what you're going there for, and all that stuff. So they have all your information. So when you go there, they're doing readings there because they run a check on you and they do all your background, so they can have this information on you based off of what they find. Because in the Sam and Colby video, the one person that they could not read was the person that showed up there who was adopted, and she had no internet background. She was the only person that they couldn't read. They could read everybody else, but the person that there was no internet background on. And so since then, since the internet blew them up and started attacking everybody, they left the Conjuring house, and most of the staff left the Conjuring house over like a financial dispute because the owner was not paying people, and she's been in trouble with the law, and they pulled her licensing and all that other stuff. So that is not supposed to be operating anymore. And apparently, if you had booked sessions to go there, some people were not even getting refunds when it was getting canceled or turned away when they go there. But
It's crazy.
the lady,
it's almost like
crazy.
It's all been a scam.
Yeah.
Now I was saying that.
So
now what's that haunted house that's in Jersey that
YouTubers were debunking her? Like, she went online to debunk you, like to attack YouTubers on her pages, the Conjuring household pages as well, saying that, like, what they're doing is heinous and they're gonna, hold them to the highest extent of the law. Obviously, nothing happened. Like, it was just crazy.
Fucking funny.
Really dying on that high horse, like crazy.
Now I would stay a night in that one haunted house that's in Jersey that Craig and Jack Osborne did. The one that they
the mob pit
was. Yeah. Now that house I would go check out.
Yeah.
Because they said that one was legit. But yeah. And that story was interesting too. Anyway.
I'm so glad Scott brought this point up because we have been talking about going ghost hunting like eventually, because it'd be so much fun to do. I've been bringing it up.
We could just go back to Gettysburg and go to the.
We can go to Gettysburg. We also have Eastern State Penitentiary and Penhurst right up here, and they do overnight touring. I'm just saying. We had stuff happening when we went to Eastern State Penitentiary. We had issues happening when we went there in the daytime. Steve Buscemi was giving us the guided tour on our Walkmans, and stuff kept happening on the radios and whatnot. It was a fun time. So I would love to see what happens at night.
Yeah,
I think what's his name's place is hunting in Philly, the one where the guy that was in Terrifier 2 with us that has the warehouse, and it's a haunted attraction in Philly. I forgot what the place is called, but we had some instances in there. So
yeah. Hey, if you guys are curious about the stories about the hauntings on the Terrifier 2 and stream set, or the house that Marcus is talking about with in New Jersey, go into our Nerdbox search and type in paranormal, and you'll have videos that has that. We have interviews with people sharing their paranormal experience, and we did a short run of an award-winning podcast of the year and best nude podcast ever that nobody watched but won awards is Nerdbox Paranormal, where we did 10 episodes about the Ouija board, real stories and stuff like that. But that was a fun show. Anyway, so now I lost my train of thought because I saw a squirrel in the
Conjuring.
took me out of it. Yeah, no, we're wrapped on the Conjuring.
Rites.
Yeah, Conjuring Last Rites. Do you want to see it? I'm going to see it, but I'm not. I'm like,
I'm not going to go to the theater to see it.
I'm going to make my own personal stand here. I'm not going to make an official Nerdbox stand, but I have no interest in supporting anything Ed and Lorraine Warren. I just don't.
Mm-hmm.
It's all a scam. And now, and they're still getting money from us. They're still doing it. They're dead.
Yeah. Eventually, you gotta appreciate the hustle. Like they're still going at it, and they're gone.
Now
they're ghosts.
Went to charity. I genuinely don't think that I would even go and see it for that reason. I genuinely think that would just turn out to be another huge fucking scam.
All right.
There's only two movies that I'm looking forward to that we're gonna, I guess, talk about. Right, Dave?
What happened?
I said there's only 2 other horror movies that I'm looking forward to this year that I think we're going to talk about those, right?
No, we're not going to talk about those because we are talking about. We was talking about Scream 8, and then we're going to talk a little bit Batman, and that's it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, the only 2 horror movies I'm looking forward to this year is Bring Her Back by the Philippou brothers that did Talk to Me, and 28 Years Later, man. That's probably my
28
next.
years is gonna be fantastic. It looks so good. Oh, it looks so good.
Yeah,
the
I'm sold on the trailer.
It's me hyped as fuck. Oh my god!
It's the music, right? It's the music.
It's that one.
So that was an actual poem that they used to torture, like mess with soldiers back in the day.
This is the first movie where the score has got me more into the movie than what I've seen. And the first movie that did that in the last 10 years is It, 2017. Like, the score of that trailer was so good that it's like, I got to see it now. Because I'm one of the rare people, I do not like It from 1999 or 2000. I like Tim Curry as Pennywise, but I do not like the miniseries. And I was like, I don't want to see the remake of it or anything like that. But then I seen the trailer and the score. It's like, yep, I got to go see it.
Then it turned out to be great.
Yep.
There's an editor on YouTube. I forgot her name, and I'll send you all the link in the chat, where she takes It 2017 and 2019 and edits the Winchester brothers from Supernatural into the trailer, and it just fits. It fits so perfectly, like it's a whole new movie. Because I don't know if you watch Supernatural, but Sam, Jared Padalecki's character, is like terrified of clowns, and Dean makes fun of him about it. But it just fits, man. Y'all got to see it, man. It's so good. But like you, I wasn't a fan of the original miniseries. I love Tim Curry, but wasn't a fan of the miniseries. But the remake definitely was.
Yeah. All right, let's go. I know we had a lot of chatter on this in the beginning of the show tonight, and it was a lot of Scream 8 chatter. So Scream 8 is rumored to be in development. Source is Daniel RPK, who is reliable. He's a reliable scooper. Reliable scooper. And it's the continuation of the Sidney Prescott story. How do we ruin Scream 7? By revealing that Sidney Prescott is surviving Scream 7.
Yeah. Well, so I remember when Scream 6 came out. I mean, it was just word of mouth, but they had already quasi greenlit a whole new trilogy after the whole Melissa Barrera situation. So I was like, this wasn't like really new news to me. I was like, well, okay, it was expected, you know. But like you said, they're ruining it by already telling us who's going to be involved in the next one. So,
you know, honestly, it sounds like we're getting a cliffhanger for this latest part, and then that's going to bring us into 8. And I already covered this on the channel a year ago. I was like, hey, how do we save Scream 7? Is by bringing Stu back, revealing him at the end, holding it over to the next movie where you can do a year worth of promotion around Sid versus Stu. And you can do Tale of the Tape. You can do all of this fun stuff with the Scream 8 because that's how you would bill it. And that's where it looks like we're going with it.
At this point, you gotta wonder. They're watching, right? They're watching it. They're here somehow. They're hearing this shit, and they're just like, yeah, let's
do it. The walls.
Yep. Yeah. Like
I remember.
We call look on our channel at least, right? Like our channel blew up because of Scream, and that's where we got all of our attention and stuff like that. And we actually even when Sydney was not coming back for 6, we had the scoop that I had to pull down because one of our the person that gave us the information is very close to Scream, and he told us why Sidney Neve was not coming back. And I had to talk with Marcus and a few other people. It's like, hey, do I leave this up until this person gives me the green light because he told me why Neve is not coming back? And I ended up pulling it because he came back. It's like, no, man, you can't talk about that. So I had to pull my scoop down on it. But yeah, like we called the whole spin-off conversation of Hayden Panettiere getting a TV show because and so we called a couple of things. We've been a little bit ahead of the Scream franchise news and the story developments because we kind of predicted all that stuff. So I'm pretty proud of that.
Yeah, we're a bunch of smart cookies.
Yeah. So
it's
Scream
the
8.
reason why I'm a filmmaker today, man. Scream 2. So.
Yeah.
Or are these filmmakers making Scream just that bad?
You know what though? You know what? That would be the highlight of my career if I had the opportunity to like do something for Scream, like you know.
Oh yeah.
If if Nerdbox had the opportunity to fix Scream 7,
dude.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So Scott, I think the chances are very highly likely that this is going to be a cliffhanger, and we're going to go into Scream 8 knowing who one of the Ghostface are. Mm-hmm. I think you have to do it. You have to change it up a little bit, and that's the way to do it.
I would love if our girl was a Ghostface, but we know that's not going to happen because she's Sidney's neighbor in this one. But
no, that doesn't tell me anything. That just tells me
no,
she's
I know that, but I don't think
scary.
they will make her. I don't think they'll make her a Ghostface. I would love it if
I
they
want
did.
them to tell me how it is that they're greenlighting Scream 8 when they haven't even shown us the failed product that is Scream 7 yet.
Because they're that confident.
I was so excited when Scream 5 got announced that I was going to be able to see a Scream movie in theaters for the first time. It's a great, great time. I really enjoyed it. Scream 6, thought that was, I had fun seeing that in theater as well. This movie makes me want to run headfirst into a wall. And it's not even out yet. Like, it's not even out. It doesn't come out until next year. And now they're making an 8. And I don't even know if I'm going to be able to make it to 8. I think that this one's going to do me in.
Like I said, our channel,
just like James.
like I said, our channel blew up on Scream, and I can honestly tell you that of all the comments that I read, because I try to read them all and I try to comment back on everything, it's divided. The fan base for Scream is divided. There is the Neve Campbell camp, and then there is the camp for Melissa and Jenna. I've never seen it more evenly divided where people don't want the old school characters back. They just want the new characters. And then I see it the other way too. Even in the Scream groups. Like, I know Mark's Scream groups. Yeah.
Yeah. I just want the story properly. That's it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I just don't want mumbled garbage on the screen for 2.5 hours.
Yeah. I'm very much in the same boat as Noah. I like my enthusiasm for this movie is already like I'm gonna see it because Matthew Lillard's gonna be in it in some way or capacity, and I love him as an actor, so I'm gonna watch it. But I just like my excitement dies more and more with everything that gets revealed from this movie because I don't see it in my head playing out well. But I'm also open to being pleasantly surprised. So maybe that'll happen, and then maybe like Scream 8 will be fucking like, oh my gosh, like it's the Scream Endgame thing, like or what? I don't fucking care. I truly don't care about Scream 8 because I haven't seen Scream 7. Who the hell gives a shit about a sequel to a movie that we haven't seen yet?
Well, yeah, that's a good point, right? Scream 4 was supposed to have 2 movies attached to it as well, and it flopped in the box office, and they immediately canceled 5 and 6. So we don't know what's going to happen here. Yep, I was on the Stu train, like I was really hard on the Stu train, but my everything is kind of just this. The excitement has died down, like Lukas. Like I'm not as excited as I was to have Stu back as I was before all of this nonsense.
On that feeling.
Like that's what I'm saying. That's the only excitement I have for this movie is that Matthew Lillard is going to be in it because I am a Matthew Lillard fan. I like most of the projects that he's in. I could give less of a shit about the storyline. I'm going to be so for real because AI.
I feel like there's one more issue that we haven't discussed here.
Shit, I don't know.
Which is that Neve Campbell is coming back for the same reason that what the hell Jamie Lee Curtis came back for, which was a paycheck. and that showed in the rebooted Halloween franchise. Now, granted, the script was just awful. Like the story was just fucking terrible, but her performance showed in the Halloween rebooted franchise as well. We know that obviously she should have been paid more for what we've been seeing similar issues with Jeremy Renner. They wanted him to come back for Hawkeye season 2 and pay him half the money to do double the work, which is bullshit.
Yeah,
same thing with Neve Campbell, Melissa Barrera, and fucking Jenna Ortega. They get your bag, get the money that you are owed if you're carrying a franchise. But I wouldn't say that he made or break. He was the make or break of Iron Man, but what we need to look out for is the potential that since she's mainly coming back for a paycheck, that she's getting the money that she wanted, that she might not give the performance that we're hoping for out of this because it's a money thing. Like, we know Matthew Lillard's coming back because he fucking loves this franchise and he loves his fans. We've seen him in Q&As in person, talking to us, talking to other people about how he just loves his fans and wants to provide for his fans. He has emotional struggles worrying about what the effects of his fans that are watching this, so they don't like it, like what how it's going to affect him, so that's my concern as well. I'm just now realizing that she is coming back for a paycheck, which granted, she deserves the money. She was carrying the franchise. This is a Sidney Prescott story up until we got Sam and Tara. So just a little little thing in the brains, like, what if she's not going to give her 110% performance like the other films? And 5, I really feel like she was lackluster. I did not enjoy her in 5. The acting was so stale, dude.
Well, my counter is this, though. It wasn't so much her performance; it was what was written for her. Because usually, like, even in bad projects, one example was the movie she did with The Rock, that skyscraper movie, whatever it was called. Really wasn't a good movie. Really wasn't a good movie, but she did what she could with the material that she had. One thing that Neve does, she never dials it in. She never folds it in. You know what I mean? She does the best she can with what she has to work with.
So she's a real actor. She's a real actor. Like she
exactly.
Classically trained from my knowledge.
So Scream 5, I blame more so what they wrote for her. They didn't give her enough to do, but her performance was not bad at all. So that's a valid concern that you have, but I don't think it'll be her bringing in the lackluster performance. I think it might be suspect writing on Kevin Williamson's part, maybe, if that's the case. You know what I mean? So not so much her performance, but more so the writing and what they give her to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna quickly change subjects. I just want to read this one comment that just came in. Yeah, so I agree here with King Matthew. To be fair, I would have actually preferred if Scream 5 continued with Kirby and not create.
Yeah, I would have been cool with that. I would have been cool with that too.
They can still
I would have been cool with that. Yeah.
Again,
even though I love Sam. I hate Tara, but I would have been totally 100.
We say it all the time, right? This is the only franchise with enough established base characters that you can split them all off and then bring them back together later on. Here is your horror multiverse or your horror universe is Scream, because you can watch Kirby do her own thing. You can watch Sam and Tara do their own thing. You can watch Sidney do their own thing. There's enough established characters where you can split out and then eventually bring it back together. They're just not thinking. They're not thinking. They don't see what's in there on their laps right there.
Yeah. I don't know.
Kirby made such an impact in 4 that people were screaming at the franchise to bring her back for 5, and then she came back in 6. Like, she made such an impact in that movie because it was a great character. And then in 6, having her be an FBI agent who's kind of rogue, trying to find these Scream cult, like, mother. Like,
granted,
what are we doing?
Granted, she was in a bad place in her personal life. Why she didn't do 5? Because I think they did offer her.
Okay, that I can understand.
Yeah, I think they did offer her. Yeah, but they couldn't find her, and then she was dealing with
on the run.
The divorce with the boxer, and then her other boyfriend at the time was getting in trouble and stuff. So she had a lot that she was dealing with while she wasn't in 5. Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like, she came back in 6, and that was such a big thing. That was such a big thing when she came back in 6. Like, and there's still like, oh, we'll give you Gale Weathers again. I don't give a fuck, dude? You kill Dewey. You keep giving us
All right,
Gale.
Lucas.
You take
Lucas.
away
No,
Sam and Sarah.
I was just gonna say, like, going back to Noah's original point, like, I don't think the acting is gonna be an issue because, like, even like everybody here apparently hates that Joel McHale is in this movie. I could care less because I think he really does act the shit out of some scenes, especially from the
Only
series
2 roles
Bear.
I like.
In comedic scenes.
But like, no, even in very serious scenes, like he's
If
great.
you're talking
at,
about the
like,
scene where like he's talking to what's his face, where he's like, "Oh, I made you what you are," it still came off as a sarcastic douchebag. It was the exact same role.
It wasn't
just in a
played for
different
laughs.
camera
I
angle.
think I don't know. I personally think that he is not going to have a bad performance. I don't think he usually doesn't have bad performance. It's just the characters that we get annoyed, and it's because they write him to be annoying, which is honestly good job on him for making it so that we were so annoyed to hate him.
Lucas has a point because
I don't hate Joel McHale. I just don't want him in this movie.
Yeah, no, I have no issue with him being in this movie. Like, because I think that from seeing him in The Bear, from seeing him in a few other like more serious roles, it's one of those things. I don't think we're gonna have an issue with performance. I think it's just gonna be the script. It's just gonna be the writing behind most of this.
Lucas has a point. He was actually good. I mean, David will argue this with me probably, but I thought he did a great job in Joel. I think he did an awesome job in Sons of Anarchy. His couple episodes he was in that, and then also Assassination Nation. He was actually pretty solid in that. But yeah, like Lucas said, it's probably all about the writing, like what they'll give him to do, more so than anything.
Let's be so for real. He's also probably going to die in like the first 20 minutes of the movie. Let's be so for real about that.
I just don't want to see his face in the film. Like it makes he stands out like a sore thumb because he's so known and typecasted as a sarcastic douchebag. And you can say sarcastic in comedy and serious film in serious roles. Because the Bear, he's still the same character, just a different. He's a chef, but it's the same damn thing. It's a different perception based on how they're portraying it on the camera, on the film. It's still the same character, and I think that regardless of, he's gonna play the same person. He's gonna write, "Oh, look, I'm a sarcastic douchebag that's gonna die, and I'm married to Sidney Prescott." It's gonna be the same character. It's not gonna make sense for the story. And Joel McHale it doesn't make sense for the movie. It doesn't make sense to see him in the movie.
I don't know, because that says a lot about, like, because there's other horror movies out there that have other like comedic actors in them, and they actually put in some fantastic performances. I think it's one of those things where it's probably just because like there was such an already like set idea for like, I guess, or like not a set idea, but like
it's supposed to be Kincaid.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Mark Kincaid.
For it to be something else, and then they're giving us something different. There's always going to be disappointment with that, and that's just how it goes because we're super fans of this franchise, and like that's.
I'm not. This has nothing to do with Kincaid for me. Like Scream 3, it has its
saying that he doesn't fit. There's a lot of characters that I would say don't.
He just hates him. He just hates him. That's all it is.
I don't have a problem with Joel McHale. I watched The Community. I thought that show was funny, but that's the thing. I like him in those types of things. I don't think that this is going to work for him.
Yeah, we'll see.
Listen, you could say Michael Keaton. You can say Michael Keaton's Batman. You can say Mark Hamill as the Joker. You can do all that stuff. But the thing is, he has been well established in his acting career for decades now. He hasn't shown me anything that proves to me that he could do something different. Whereas these other actors were still somewhat working their way up to where they're at now.
Yeah,
he's done. Like he's not. This is not going to be an Oscar-worthy performance. That's going to be like, holy shit.
No,
I need to see him in more stuff. This is going to be, it's Joel McHale playing himself in Scream 7. That's it's going to be him playing himself.
I'm not saying the performances are going to be Oscar worthy. I'm just saying I don't think that him being in this movie is going to hamper the movie any more than the writing already has.
It bothers me. It's already bringing it down.
All right, so Scott is like, do you think Amber's mom and dad are still living at Stu's house, or did they move out for their daughter? What their daughter did
they
in the
moved
house?
out because it's abandoned.
I can't read.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. Yeah, it's abandoned this time. I heard it's all.
Stewie's got to have the they got the garage and everything with the doggy door. They got to keep it.
Oh, let's not go down the doggy door thing again. What if Scream 7's post credits end with Patrick Dempsey returning as Mark Kincaid? Like, how fast? Oh my God!
They would have to cut a check
I
because
don't
that's the
know.
reason
I
why
think
he's not
how
I
can
doing
hate
you
the
screw up
Fast series.
Scream?
So I hate the
See,
Fast
hear
and
me
Furious
out. Hear me out. You guys are complaining about Joel McHale.
Hey, babe,
If
I'm not
they
to here
did
now.
that, if they did that, you guys would probably freak out, and you know it.
Well, they're not going to do it
And they
because that's
said
the main
nothing.
reason.
And they said
That's the
nothing
main
about
reason why he's not doing the movie, because they wouldn't cut him a check. They wouldn't pay him. So yeah, I don't think he'll show up again unless they pay him.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
and
see, that's the thing
Thanksgiving
about
was filming
the
at the
thing
same
about
time.
was it Patrick Dempsey? Yeah, so he's doing
What about
Thanksgiving too, and Patrick Dempsey's a huge name. Joel McHale is
Mhm.
not. Joel McHale does not need to be in this film. I let him kill him off camera.
That's
Put him in like little like home videos. Like they're coming back from his funeral at the beginning of the film. I don't need to see his dumb ass. Like it's just gonna be like he's gonna be annoying until he dies, unless they make him a ghost face, and then he's gonna be a sarcastic douchebag of a ghost face.
Oh,
And then I'm just gonna
how
be
do you
like,
kill?
totally gonna be happy when he dies.
How do you kill it more? Make him a ghost face. That's how you destroy the movie more. Just have Joe McHale.
How do you kill it more? Keep him in the entire film.
Hey, I like that he made the
Make him-
switch in
make him a main
Assassination
character.
Mission, but I wouldn't want him a Ghostface. No.
All right, we're going to talk about one of Lucas's favorite movie franchises ever, because the question came in is like, hey,
Barbie
my
movies?
belief is JLC, Jamie Lee Curtis,
did.
had a big role in changing the scripts for Halloween. Yes, she
you
did.
tricked me.
Yeah, she did with
Yes,
the
I
Blumhouse.
did.
So
Yep.
I don't give
Jamie
a
Lee
fuck.
He
Don't
helped
give a
make them
fuck.
worse.
Don't
Did she help make
care.
them worse?
I
Why
don't
did she do
care.
that? I thought she liked those.
Who cares about these movies anymore? They killed it. It's dead. Let it die. Let it be dead. Let it rot.
that's why I still watch the original 4, man. The first 4 at least.
I can't even get through the
who
first
like
one
Halloween
anymore.
As a franchise,
Yeah.
I don't know how that's like your favorite slasher. Michael Myers as an entity is cool, but as a franchise, it lines there with Chucky, like Child's Play for me.
Yeah.
I know because
I know Friday the 13th has its
anybody
problems.
that
Even the
says
shittiest of movies are fun.
anybody that says they still enjoy this franchise, and I mean this franchise as a whole, not just like a certain
no.
few movies.
Yeah,
like
there's like a couple of them
anybody
that
who
are
says
good,
that
but,
they
like,
enjoy this stupid moronic franchise as a whole, I really genuinely hope that you understand how dumb you are. Like it hurts to see like
God,
plain
oh
and
my
real
God.
Wow,
Like,
dude,
no,
he just
it's
attacked
bad.
the whole
It's bad.
millions
It's
of people.
boring. It's poorly written, and it's fucking bad. It's
Okay,
just
I will still-
I
bad.
hate
It is
talking
bad,
about it.
but-
Every time it's brought up, I get back into the fucking
1 through
Noah.
3 in the original
Noah and
original
Dave's
like movies
basement.
were good. I want
I'm
to be very
watching
clear about that.
Noah
1
with-
through 3 were good.
Ugh. I'm watching it with Noah in your guys' basement, and I'm falling asleep. I'm falling asleep trying to watch the
he
first
fell
one.
asleep. No, he wasn't falling asleep. He was out. He was dadding it. He was, and it was like the worst part about it was like we were like 20 minutes into the movie. Nothing had happened yet, and he was out. He was done.
That's why
you
like
gave
again
no
it's like
chance to the movie.
It's purely because Michael Myers is just such a cool concept. I think that's the only reason that there are actual fans of this
William
franchise.
Shatner's
It's
face
because
was used
Michael
as the
Myers
mask, guys.
is
Did you know that?
so cool. He's so cool. But
did you know? But hey, did you know that William Shatner's face was
movie!
used as the mask?
Every
But hey,
movie
did you
is
know about William Shatner's face used as the mask? Because that's super cool. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, so to answer the question, since we went on a tangent, I had to let Lucas get it out.
I'm so done with Halloween. But
yeah,
please.
so yes, Jamie Lee Curtis, her conditions to come back the first time was that she be the person that comes back and ends Michael Myers once and for all. That was the condition. She wanted to come back with John Carpenter, and she had to be the final girl that killed or unalived Michael Myers once and for all. He wasn't coming back, and she left into the sunset. And then John Carpenter backed out, and then they had a whole bunch of studio issues, and that's where Noah's reference comes up for doing it just for a paycheck. Because she said it. She said it in interviews. Like, yeah, I only came back for the paycheck after everything was said and done. And then to come back for this latest trilogy, you can see that she gets her wish that she wanted in H2O, where it's like, I'm coming back, but I have to be the person that wins and puts an end to Michael Myers. And then, so it really annoys me seeing those older interviews and then seeing how she acts today with other Halloween alumni people. You can go and look up the stories about that and how she's rude to other people in the franchise. And then she wins an award. It's like, oh, this is for Everything Everywhere All at Once. This is for all the genre fans that are out there. It's like, you such a liar. Like, I like you in some movies, but don't sit there and say you're a genre actress because you hate on the horror genre all the time. So it pisses me off with her.
While I agree, that's kind of slimy that's kind of slimy in a professional sense as well. Just because like that's also something that like helped build her career.
Yeah.
But she is onto something because she probably understands that this is a nothing franchise and that it deserves
the Halloween
nothing.
franchise wasn't even about her. Like 1 and 2, she was just a victim that got lucky throughout that entire series of events. She was not his counterpart. Loomis was, and he was gone. She could have assumed that she was like you could have spun it like she assumed that she was the alter good to his evil, which clearly showed in the new trilogy that she wasn't. And then she gets taken out, and it's her granddaughter. There, I just fixed your fucking trilogy for you. Now give me money. But when she does that, that is also a spit in the face too, because Sigourney Weaver, as in the Alien franchise, fought tooth and nail in Alien 3 with the director who got fired 3 times in 2 months for trying to write his own story. That's a character. That's an actress who's for the genre people. She cared. That's why she hasn't come back to the Alien franchise. If it works for the story, I'll come back. But she's not coming back for a paycheck because she wants it to be good. She wants the story to develop well. And that shit I respect. I love Sigourney Weaver, Ellen Ripley, love it. And I love that, like, even in Alien 3, the bomb shell of that was and what it was originally supposed to be. She fought for that. And she fought for the director who was a new director at the time. And it's like, she's taking credit for something that she's never done and that we've seen somebody who hasn't been able to, like, get those awards actually congratulate people for showing that she's actually congratulating them. Because Sigourney Weaver actually supports the fans. She's Jamie Lee Curtis supporting a wallet, and I don't appreciate that.
Yeah.
To be fair, she does go into this.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so Halloween, I think, is #1 franchise with the most films because they have 13 films. Friday 13 is right behind it with 12. Scream has a little ways to go. I think Hellraiser has 10? Close to 10.
Like Puppet Master may be up there. I have to look that up.
Yeah, and Puppet Master is up there. Yeah.
Let's see. Let's go ahead. Let's go to the interwebs. Puppet Master franchise. Let's see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I count the crossovers. 10, 11, 12.
Yeah, but
13,
damn, I didn't know it was that many.
14.
So they're #1.
Yep, they got 16 films.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
Apparently, one came out 3 years ago as well.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw that one. That one was actually decent.
Yeah, I didn't know about this one, but I own this one. I own Blade. I just haven't gotten around to watching it.
What was the one that came out? That's the one I saw, the 2018 one. Yeah.
2018, Puppet Master, The Littlest Reich. Yep.
Yeah, that's the one. The last one I saw.
The Littlest Reich. What?
Yep. No. Well, the franchise is all based around Nazis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
as someone who's never seen the franchise, like I thought there's like, oh, we ran out of ideas. Let's just make a Nazi bomb movie.
It started off about
like a horror Disney movie. Like Jesus Christ.
Alrighty. Speaking of, before we go into our last topic, for those that want to hang around for it, we're going to talk a little bit Batman, but also just remember this week, I think it is, the Reanimator 40th anniversary is hitting theaters. So if you love Dr. Herbert West, go and check that out this week. Noah, Lukas, I don't know if you're off on Wednesday, but if you haven't seen the Reanimator, you'll probably want to come to see Reanimator with us.
Yep.
Yep, come to see Reanimator with us. All right, so let's close out our show and talk about Batman 2. So rumors broke this week that Matt Reeves was out of Batman 2. And now James Gunn has taken to the internet to respond to people saying, nope, he's still attached. Look, I'm going to say it now. Batman 2 is not getting made. It's not getting made. I think James Gunn has his entire vision for the DCEU or DCU, whatever it's called, and Batman 2 is not going to get made.
It has to because of the fact of the success of the Penguin and the 22 film.
Yeah, and then
They
Batman
have to
movie did
finish
good
it.
too.
Yeah, they have to finish it, man. Because
Like even if even if they don't continue it, like they would
even if
have
it's
to do
a Elseworld, yeah, even if it's Elseworld, just let it be Elseworld. You know what I mean? Like they
I
have to.
swear to
That's
God, if James Gunn's shitty DC universe cancels out a good startup Batman franchise, I'm gonna fucking lose my mind. Because the only time
Hey
we've
now.
seen Superman in this trailer is when he's getting his ass handed to him by someone else. He's on the ground, or a bottle makes him flinch. This is a pussy Superman, and I won't stand for him taking out this cool Battinson. I'm sick of it.
It seems you have a strong case of toxic masculine for the Peacemaker season 2 fans out there.
Yeah.
I
am looking forward to that. I am looking forward to that.
Also, like, I don't think James Gunn is like the star shining example of what a superhero movie formula should be. Like
No.
Suicide Squad 2,
No.
we praise it up to be. I'm gonna be Guardians of the Galaxy franchise progressively got better. Suicide Squad 2, I did not like it. It was fun. I thought it was so.
I agree.
stupid.
I agree. I
Like,
agree with Noah.
there's so many
It was fun, but I was like, do we need it?
You have original characters coming back, and you kill the best characters from the first movie. Like,
Yeah.
I love Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, so I'm glad that she stayed throughout. But you kill Rick Flag, and you kill Boomerang, and there is some. Not only is Boomerang one of the best Flash villains, like in my opinion, but like some of the best casted characters from the Suicide Squad, from characters I didn't give a shit about in the DC universe.
Well, here's the difference.
He's now
Here's the
doing
difference.
Peacemaker, which weak. Peacemaker was weak.
Here's the difference between Guardians and Suicide Squad 2. Like, you take Harley Quinn out of Suicide Squad 2, the entire movie is shit, right?
Yep.
But if you look at Guardians, you can take one of the characters out, and the movie will still flow and still work. That's not what Suicide Squad 2 is. You're dependent on Harley Quinn.
Well, so I think I disagree there. I think Guardians was such a character-centric story. Like, they really took focus on all of the characters in the team. Like, even when they added new characters. And like, I think that one, that movie, those movies did so well because they explored that going on and on until a natural end. And it was just really nice. It was really nice.
Broken people finding broken families. Like, it was.
Where Suicide Squad, or at least the newer Suicide Squad, I guess, comes in, it was a lot of like throwing stuff at us and not really explaining a whole bunch. Like the Thinker, played by Peter Capaldi. Cool, really cool. That's, hey, I love Peter Capaldi. And he's playing the Thinker? What a role. That is actually fantastic.
But
and then he dies.
Yep.
And that's another thing.
Needs to stop focusing on comedy.
He's
such a good serious actor. Such a good serious director.
Comedy or not, serious stories or not, like whatever stories that they're going to tell, we need to understand where this DC universe is actually coming from. Because after the Flash movie, there was no explanation on what started this new DCU. Like, there's no explanation whatsoever unless the Flashpoint was the whole point, which in that case, they have not put any work into actually laying down a foundation. And I think Superman is going to carry a lot on that, which might make it fail in some aspects. I still have high hopes because I actually quite like the trailers for this movie. I think that it does look pretty decent so far. I'm a sucker for seeing superheroes save people.
So it's Peacemaker. It's actually Peacemaker season 2 that's going to bridge the gap of how it's going from Snyder's universe to Gunn's.
See, I like that. I don't know why it has to rest on Peacemaker, though. I really think
if you look at the trailer, there's a shot where he's entering the door and he sees himself in the other side of the door. Yeah, that's him coming into Gunn's DCU.
Yeah, that's why. It's because they want to keep John Cena in the role, so they have to make that the crossover mark.
I mean, I can respect that. John Cena is really fun as Peacemaker.
I don't know. I mean, like, also was Peacemaker, as far as I know, Peacemaker was not a funny role, like a funny character. Like he was a relatively serious one.
He was also a character
like,
that nobody cared about. So, and this is what they do is they take a character that nobody cares about and they give him personality. And that's something really cool about Peacemaker is Peacemaker is genuinely a well-rounded character, especially after the events of season 1. And once you see the first season of Peacemaker, you understand that because it goes a lot into who Peacemaker is as a person and why he acts the way he acts and why he's done the things he's done. And it's a really cool I consider it to be a character study because James Gunn played it like a character study. They dove deep into some really tough like topics in season 1 specifically for most of the characters. But I just don't see the real super big connection with Peacemaker and that being the start of the new
connection
DCU.
Is that James Gunn said initially when he bought like the DC franchise and he said he was going to be taking the lead on it, that nothing from the DCEU franchise was going to be connected to his new franchise of DC Universe stuff. I don't know if he bought it or whatever, but like whatever he did. So like when he said this,
he just became the Kevin Feige of that universe.
Yeah, he said that his film was going to be the first and rebooting everything. And then like 2 weeks later, he backtracked and said that Suicide Squad 2 and the season 2 only of Peacemaker was connected to his universe, backtracking what he said, and that's just because he wants his stuff in the franchise in the series, and I think that's fucking stupid. And I think that if you want to keep him on, great, just recast him. If that's going to confuse people, I understand that, but you're also starting a new foundation for a multiversal franchise with the same fucking film, because Man of Steel was the start of it. Man of Steel Superman was the start of it, and now you're getting Superman. Now we're having issues with the Batman too.
That also brings us back to the conversation of the fucking Flash and what, you know, that being the Flashpoint story for this universe, and then jumpstarting, I guess, what would now be, I guess, because we're technically now in the new 52, which is what I would call it, of this DC.
I don't think that movie has any connection. That movie has no connection to what's going on.
That's the thing, is that I think that's how they're playing it, because James Gunn still wanted to release The Flash. That's the one movie that from the DCEU that he still wanted out. And then he also backtracked on that and he said, yeah, no, I also didn't want to release that movie. But he had already greenlit Ezra Miller, you know, still continuing it. They reshot some scenes. They did a lot of really bad VFX. And then the movie came out. And it wasn't horrible, but it definitely wasn't good.
He's not trying to praise this movie in any capacity. This movie was fucking
this movie has very, very certain things that I actually really enjoyed about it. But it's not enough for me to say that I enjoyed the movie. I just enjoyed these small bits of like good writing.
I love when they nerfed Batman.
Well,
like in the original, like his original Batman vs Superman, and then they just fucking shit on him. Okay,
yeah. Let's bring it back to Batman. So, like with the whole James Gunn conversation, like what I've seen is, and I heard like on certain reliable people, is that Warner Bros. Is like, hey, we need to slow down on the DC universe right now and see how the next 2 films do. So, and we're seeing the problems with trying to get Batman 2 off the ground, right? Honestly, that movie was $1 billion movie. That's the concentration where you should be at. It's like, get Batman 2 out because it's going to make us another $1 billion. Where we're losing money on Shazam and Aquaman and Flash. Like, we're losing money here. Get me Batman 2. It's going to make me money. Right? If you're a business person, you want the thing that's going to make you money out there, right? So that's what should be coming out there. But my fear
as a household name, Batman is the money ticket.
And what they should do. Oh, go ahead, Dave.
I was gonna say my fear is that Superman is going to do maybe okay, and then Fantastic Four is going to shut it down, and then Supergirl is going to bomb, and then they're going to say, you know what, we're taking a break. We're not doing any more superhero movies for a while, and we're going to lose Batman.
If they were smart, because you were on it, you started to go there, and then you didn't continue it. What they should have done is with the Batman, they set it up perfect. Do a movie, do a series, do a movie, do a series of another villain. Do a movie, do a series of another, and then introduce your characters that way. where you could bring them into the movies. You know what I mean? That's what they should do, is just go back and forth on HBO Max and theatrical releases.
Well, see, that brings us to the Marvel problem, where people are now like, oh, well, now I have to watch this movie or this series to understand what's going on a different platform.
I don't think so, though, because like there's a difference between one movie and then right afterwards, directly following, is one series that's like 8 to 12 episodes, where in comparison, it's 5 films and 2 to 3 movies, and you or 3 shows, and you have to watch all of them. And sometimes you have to watch these short clips that are on YouTube or TikTok, whatever, to connect the overall arcing story. Like that's a big difference. Like Marvel is producing so much shit that it's like a diarrhea problem at this point. Whereas like if Batman were to do it on the consistency that they're doing it, Batman came out like 4 years ago now. The Penguin film 3 years ago. The Penguin came out almost a year ago. So they're not giving us the same quantity of stuff that Marvel is producing. Like it's a 1, 1, 1, 1. And I'm itching for Batman 2. And the Penguin only feeds to that. Whereas like if we're watching the MCU stuff, it's like I gotta watch WandaVision, I gotta watch fucking Multiverse of Madness, I gotta watch Ironheart, I gotta watch What If season 3, I gotta watch these seasons in this specific order, I gotta go back and watch Captain America because now this connects to this. Like there's just so much shit, and it's not in order anymore. Whereas this stuff just kind of stays in its own chronological path, and it's much smaller scale.
Sorry, that's a perfect example. So like the newest Captain America movie, if you did not watch Falcon and Winter Soldier, you're losing a huge part of the story. So if you're a casual fan,
it wasn't necessary to watch the shows either, and that's a lie. It's a blatant lie, because WandaVision is like, if you don't watch WandaVision or Captain America and then you watch Multiverse of Madness or the new Captain America film, you have no idea what the fuck is going on. And he had said that in an interview.
And it's gotta be, you gotta go for the casual fan. The casual fan's not gonna watch all of the content. Right, so if you're laying out the story for the new Captain America movie and you have to watch the TV series, you're going to be lost when you come into it. Same thing with the Multiverse of Madness. Like, what? Wanda wasn't like this, and you missed the entire story on WandaVision, right?
Yeah.
And that's perfect. No, you said it perfectly. It's too many TV shows with too many movies coming out from Marvel where the Batman's pacing was perfect. You got a movie, you got a story that explains a character and expands a character more. Do you have to watch maybe the Batman 2 to see what's going on with the Penguin? Probably not. But if you do, you're going to have additional context to that character where it's not.
Yeah, and there's more within that universe.
And the Penguin was the Penguin was so much of a universe piece as well. It was just building that world. It was more building towards the Batman universe that they had just created.
It's touching on a character too that was really well written in the movie, but we didn't get a lot of. We got we also got the comeuppance of that character as well. Like we saw at the end, he's taking over for the crime syndicate now because Falcone's dead. So now we get him in his own show. It just gives us more of that character. And Colin Farrell, holy shit. As the Penguin, I never would have one guessed that that's who that was under that suit. He looks amazing. And 2, that performance, like I know he's a good actor, but like holy shit, amazing. And like we're also teasing Mr. Freeze in the Batman 2. And let's just talk about the animated storyline of them bringing Mr. Freeze, like that story of him fighting dying from whatever, ailment. I can't remember like what exactly it is, but like he's in a cold suit so he doesn't die. So he can also find a way to fund research to save his wife who's dying. Like, and Batman is like also fighting with the morality of taking this guy out because he's also doing this for troubled reasons. Like Mr. Freeze isn't a bad guy. He's just doing bad things. And it really shows, and like showed throughout that entire, like all of his returns in that series. And even like now, because of how impactful that story was, they bring it into the video games. It was in the Arkham video games. It was in the Harley Quinn TV show with Kaylee Cuoco. They have shown it multiple times because it's just that impactful. So to see that potentially be in a live action and then they rip it away, oh my dude, that's heartbreaking. That is heartbreaking to see that. like, and I would also, for DC purposes, I would consider myself more so a casual fan because I prefer Marvel. But I know the story, and I love the way that the original Batman movie was paced. I think that the way it was written, like, he is new. He's only been doing this for like a year, and he is very intelligent, but he's also very on himself. He's very full of himself in what he can do. And then Alfred's like, no, you need to do this, this, and this. And when he said last week that he didn't like that Alfred was solving things for him, like in every single one. Every single riddle. I can understand that, but at the same instance, he uses Alfred for a lot of his like detective work in general because Alfred was a part of the like special operatives. Yeah. And to furthermore go on top of that, him realizing throughout his story that Alfred's family and not just a butler, and like that he can also progress himself by working together, and then also realizing one person at a time, the more people he introduces into his life, the more people he'll be able to help introducing the Bat family, because he's got issues. Like I love that story. So I want to see that progress more. And if James Gunn's potentially shitty DC reboot is going to stop that from happening, because also look at the Joker, right? The Joker came out, that was a huge success. The second one came out and did not need to be made. I'm glad that it was, I'm glad that they wanted to make it, but it was not necessary because it's not paying off anything. It was bad and it was only for money. Whereas the first one was just a very artistic film that was done very well. Same thing with the first Batman film, but this one also had potential to build off into more. Their version of the Riddler, I know I'm going off on a huge tangent, so I apologize, but the Riddler in this one, I don't care about the Riddler that much, but the Riddler, oh my God, so awesome. I don't care about the Joker. I'm only here for I love the Riddler. I want to see what they do with Mr. Freeze, and I know that they mentioned Clayface. I would love to see Clayface in the Batman 2. That could have also just been a rumor because of the own Clayface standalone movie that got bundled into it. But like, this franchise could do so much for the Batman storytelling and the detective aspect of Batman. Because I feel like we saw like even in Christian Bale's Batman, that's not what, like, he was smart and he was doing detective work, but I don't think it was on the same capacity.
They didn't focus on it. Yeah, they didn't focus on it.
It was more Mission Impossible detective.
Yeah. This was very detective work. Like, he's like, oh, like the one guy's like, oh, that tool's for pulling up carpets and shit. He's like, oh, it is? Let me do this real quick. And then he incorporates that into his future detective work. I love that. Bring it back.
The big problem, like with the DC's focus on non-big characters, is that like we had Iron Man come out, did really well. We had Captain America came out, did really well. We had Thor come out and do really well. Look, back in the 90s, I didn't give a rat's ass about those characters. Like, I'll pick up an issue here and there, but nobody really did. Nobody really cared about those characters. It had its diehard base, but you had great actors attached to it, and it was new, it was fresh. And when you brought these characters to the screen with Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth, those characters took off naturally, and the way the story was laid out was perfect. And then you had Guardians. Like, I don't know that many Guardians fans. Like, I hate the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Before the film came out.
Yeah, before the film came out, I hated the Guardians of the Galaxy. And when they announced the film, my eyes rolled. And then the movie was so good that now they think they can take, Marvel does it and DC, we can take any character and make you love it. No, you already got the lightning in the bottle once. You're not going to get it a second time.
Here's what I'm thinking with that, right? So also for to go back on Guardians, I'm pretty sure Guardians, like, as a comic franchise, I might be wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm wrong on this, but like, someone correct me. But I'm pretty sure that that comic book run got canceled until the movie did successfully, and then it came back afterwards. I'm pretty sure I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that they didn't have their own standalone.
It wasn't canceled, but they were basically going through a whole bunch of different like team lineups for the Guardians. Nothing ever really stuck until the movie came out, and that was. They basically tried to incorporate most of the movie's cast with a few different characters that they still had on the Guardians.
And I think so. What you're saying with Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, and Hulk and all that, there's two very big things that stick out for me there. One, those scripts and films were written as good movie, like just they were written as a specific genre with superheroes in them. They were like, oh, like, so Tony Stark, he was this pompous douchebag. He got taken out in a military expedition, and he is being tortured and held captive, and then he learns the error of his ways, and then he becomes a superhero. The Captain America, like, he was just a good guy. Above all else, he was just a hero for who he was with or without the serum. And I think it's because they had those messages and the storytelling was there. It was like they weren't trying to follow a formula. They were trying to test the waters and see what worked. And what worked was just making a film that played to the heart and not to the dollar. Same thing with Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Because no one gave a who cares about a talking raccoon and some guy who can't talk about who doesn't understand sarcasm, like that. Oh, and a giant tree, like they're not like big things. And like these actors coming into them, they weren't huge actors. Like, let's be real, like Chris Pratt, Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr. They were all like small actors or up and coming actors, or they were coming back. Because RDJ wasn't a big actor; he was coming back.
No, he was a big actor, but he was coming back.
Yeah, he was coming back.
He was on his comeback tour.
They took a gamble on him, bringing him into that.
And what was it?
These movies
already.
RDJ in that movie, amazing. Not as Iron Man, as Tony Stark and the struggles of the man. That's what was so good about those films. Not the flashing lights. Like, sure, they were cool and all that, but it was the story, overarching story. And that's where they lost it. They thought it was like, oh, see, big flashy superhero stuff.
That's where I think that the Batman and the new DCU franchise kind of missed an opportunity, because I know a lot of people are very happy that the Batman is a separate Elseworld story. I'm one of those people just because of how most of the movie was portrayed. However, I do see where they could just build off of a much more grounded like DC universe.
You and I talked about this.
Like that would be ideal, because Robert Pattinson as Batman, I can already see him like interacting with different characters in different ways. Like I can see how he would react with a super optimistic Superman and why that conflict would come about, where we would eventually see them fight perhaps. But like I don't like the idea of them having two separate Batmans. I never did. I really do think that it's just such a missed opportunity that they couldn't find a way to work it in well that made sense. Because it truly is just something that they can build on, especially since now like Batman 2 is still happening. Like it's just the perfect jumping off point for what would be a wider DCU. And they missed it.
All right. Marcus, I have one question. We're gonna go around the room with this last question or this last thing that I popped up in a Q&A recently. But Marcus, anything to add to that real quick?
Yeah, my only gripe with the Batman issue is like I like what Matt Reeves did, separating it, making him even more grounded than what Nolan did, and the fact that they set up something that I never in my life saw coming and thought that it will work, or even thought that think that it would work, but it will work if they continue it, is like setting up characters like Sophia Falcone, who was such a minimal character in the Long Halloween and everything like that in the graphic novel, but make her such a compelling character, and then having her be related to Catwoman, they're half siblings. Like, dude, like James Gunn backed himself into a corner with when he came out, when he took over the company and first came out and said, hey, I'm going to connect everything, where the video games, the animated movies, the cartoons,
you need licensing permission,
the live action is all going to be connected.
Well, it would all be licensed under that DCU. Yeah.
Well, he shouldn't have said that so early, because what happened was, now with him taking over, even though like Superman and Lois ended, everybody thought Tyler Hoechlin was going to be his Superman, because when he said it, the show was still going on. So you already had an excellent series in Superman and Lois on CW. It ended great, but it was James Gunn's fault. So now you got like so much in the pot now, and they're just throwing darts and also seeing what's going to stick. I think it's going to fall apart probably within the next 5 years or so.
Yep. Yeah. So all right. So here's the final thing. Noah tried not to go on an hour rant about it. So on a recent Q&A, here's going to be the dart that will probably break everything. Ben Affleck was asked at a Q&A, will you come back as Batman? And his answer was, never say never. So that means there's probably been conversations. that he shall return as Batman at some point. Marcus, take us off on it.
I mean, I'll be cool with it. I actually like being as an older Batman, grizzly Batman, and I wish we would have got a completion of him. So if they do plan on bringing him back, because of this, like where Superman is going to be, where Lanterns is going to be, because he's mixing a young Superman or I guess an already established Superman with older characters, because we got an older Green Lantern. Hal Jordan is older. John Stewart is younger. You got what's Nathan Fillion? Green Lantern.
Guy Gardner.
Guy Gardner.
I love it.
So he's mixing older characters with younger characters, and I'm like, how is this going to work? You know what I mean? Like, how is this going to work?
Getting confusing.
It's getting confusing. So bringing Ben back, I think, might be a mistake. Even though I would love to see him back, I think it would be a huge mistake.
Yep. All right, Lucas.
That's my thing. I love the idea of Ben Affleck as Batman. I love the idea of them actually letting him be the real version of Batman that everybody knows. Like doesn't use guns, does not kill. Is actually a genuinely good superhero. Well, yeah, but like his main thing is like, oh, we don't kill, we don't use guns. Like they keep on showing him in the movies where they have him like
in the franchise
killing people. And it
like he killed the most out of all the Batmans. He killed the most people on screen.
Yeah, Ben Affleck.
He also used guns. He used alien guns.
These people. He was mowing through people. He was driving his car into them. Like he was actually committing murder. But like,
bro. He was murdering.
If they brought Ben Affleck back as an older Batman, let's say they don't even have to go through the Dark Knight Returns storyline, since now we've already seen it in theaters. Nobody needs to see it again because it happened. It happened already. The fight was cool, the acting was weird, and the conclusion was dumb, but it was pretty neat to see. But if they brought Ben Affleck back to be an actual Batman, where he's not just murdering like genuinely like hundreds of people in like car crashes and shit, like we don't need to see that. We just need Ben Affleck being the Dark Knight, being a Batman that it can be involved with the Justice League, that isn't a joke most of the time, because for some reason in the Justice League movie they had Batman making fucking jokes when they had the Flash right there. Like, and another thing, give us the Flash. We need an actual genuine Flash that we're going to see a lot of, because he is the heart of the Justice League. This has been in several stories. It will continue to be in several stories. And this is why he's such a big character, because he is the humanity of the team. The Flash has always been
literally the most powerful character on the fucking Justice League. And you can fight me on that.
Alrighty. All right, so
we'll say that for another day. He ain't the most powerful.
We'll not talk about it. We can do that on a different podcast. But like, I'm just saying.
On this topic, if they brought Ben Affleck back, I would be excited, though cautious.
I say bring him back for a Batman Beyond film.
That'd be cool.
I don't care either way.
I say bring him back for a Batman Beyond.
All right, no, close us out on this topic.
So if you want a Batman Beyond, Michael Keaton, like that is what they ruined initially with the Flash. Like they brought him back.
I could go with that.
They brought him back as an active elderly Batman when they should just bring him back as Batman Beyond. If we're gonna bring back Ben Affleck's Batman, just bring him back as Batman. Don't bring back the same Batman. Lucas is right. Killing is stupid. Batman doesn't kill people. In fact, I love the biggest joke about Batman is the fact that he doesn't kill people. He just mutilates the fuck out of them, and he thinks that's better. Like I'll just snap your spine in half. You're okay.
Yeah, I'll make you a vegetable.
There wasn't enough of it for me to formulate an opinion, and I can't even say that his Batman was bad, because I'm sorry, the DCEU fucking sucked, and Snyder versus versions of the Justice League were better. That doesn't mean that they were good. They were longer. They had different color undertones. They had a little bit different the different aspects of the story. It doesn't make it good. It just made it better. But his Batman was weak, but that entire universe is weak. So I'd have to see what Ben Affleck can do with the character, given leeway as a comic book nerd, because he's a fucking nerd. We all know he's a comic book nerd. He's a good actor too.
Issue with Zack Snyder's universe too is that it was just it was a lot of buildup. It was a lot of buildup for no like actual reward. Like
now, granted,
the Justice League movie
big family issues, but even before that happened, the Snyder Batman vs Superman was not good. The movies building up to that were not good.
The Ultimate Cut was,
that's the thing. It was better. It was good. It was just better. It's the same thing with Snyder Cut's Justice League. It wasn't good. It was just marginally better to the point where you're like, oh, this is the shit.
It was good. It was a totally different movie.
No, it's not. It's so not good. It's so not good.
We're going to argue that another day, man. We're going to argue that another day. We'll argue that another day.
Alrighty. Yeah. All right. So I say that's it for our episode. Going over news and stuff like that. Maybe we'll do a ranking of Scream next week, but maybe we'll continue the news. It seems like everybody is more interactive when we're talking about new stuff.
Like every Sunday, we're doing it, and then it's like we're not. It's like I'm already prepared with my drink. So
all right. Yeah. It's just like we got to see what news comes out. If there's enough news stories, then everybody likes to talk about the news, so we'll talk about the news. But if there's not enough news stories, we'll do the rankings for Scream 3. So everybody, don't forget to drop a like on the channel. This plays on 2 different channels. So this is on the Danny Vega Show on YouTube. This is also on Nerdbox. So don't forget to drop the likes, subscribe to both, and don't worry about the notification icon that every YouTuber tells you, because we'll be in your subscription feed, so you can find us there. So until next week.
But it'd be nice. If you want to be nice,
we'll be in your nightmares.
Enjoy the rest of your
never forget about us.
Every time you hear that.
Oh yeah!
Happy Mother's Day.
All those mothers out there.
Yeah.
We are not mothers, but you are our children. So we are the mothers of you. You are our children.
Oh boy, we're gonna end it with that one. Happy Mother's Day, everybody. Talk to you later.
We're starting.
Wait a minute.
We're starting a Nerdbox.
What?
Oh, we're not ending it.
No, we're ending it.
Yeah, I'll see. I gotta see. Look, it ruined the momentum. I had to wait for this to come up.
You join up.
Yes, look.
We got free
I was doing the funny thing beforehand. I was too early.
The bang bang, the boogie to the
bang.
bang.
Ruin the bit, guys. Ruin the